Yeah, so I welcome all of you to Amit Sinha IAS Academy, and this is where we are going to now have a regular interaction from now onwards till your success, till your journey to Lavasna, Missouri this year or next year, in fact. So, wishing you first of all the best for your prelims result, and I believe and I pray those who have written the exam, they all will be qualifying this time the prelims, and of course they will get a chance to write the mains examination for sure. Now, having said that, let us discuss today the real issue for which we have assembled together, because many of you must be having some element of doubts in your mind regarding how to begin with and how to prepare the main examination or the main syllabus, in fact. So let us discuss first of all that aspect, then we'll proceed further. As let me tell you that we will be starting also with the GS Men's Test Series from 12th of October. And the 12th of October is going to be a test of essay. So essay test would be conducted first on 12th of October. And this test is going to be open for all. And we would like to see your answers firstly in essay, because essay is the perfect platform at which we can evaluate your expression, and most importantly your language and your command over language. See, qualifying civil service examination also needs a very good command over your language. And a good command does not mean that you have to develop a sort of a, you can say, flowery language in expressing your answers. Rather, you have to develop a language which can be easily comprehensible by everyone and anyone who is going to read out your script. So that's exactly what is the meaning of this so-called control or command over language. So idea is whatever you want to express, whether it is being comprehensible by the reader or not, that is precisely what we have to check. And we will be checking it only through your writing, that is going to be from 12th of October, especially on 12th October, the essay test would be conducted. And then on 13th of October, we will be also having a same sort of session, the session that we are conducting right now. Just like this session, we'll be having another session also on 13th of October, where all of us, all the faculties, mentors of this test series. Yeah, one more thing that you guys need to switch. You have to mute your audios. You have to mute your audios unless and until you have to say something to me. All right.
Amit sir, you can do one thing.
Huh.
Uh, Here on the below the participant, you have the three dots. After clicking those three dots, you find one option that is a mute all option.
Okay. Okay. Just a moment. Uh, Below the participant, mute all. Yes, sir. So I hope all are now muted. Fine. So I'll unmute whenever I'll ask you to say something. Of course, there are certain doubts raised by uh, some student, that is regarding the recent content. How can we proceed for essay? Yes, exactly. That's what actually is the idea. We will talk about that issue very clearly and precisely. So just have patience and keep listening what I am trying to say to all of you, and then accordingly, I'll take up your questions also individually, because that will be a more organized way of having this session. Otherwise, what I want to say and what you want to say perhaps will not be able to communicate with each other clearly. So let's have certain some patience, and of course we'll be having enough time to interact with each other. So let me first of all complete what I was trying to explain to all of you. Okay, yeah, fine, Sekhar. So we'll be we will be conducting an essay test on 12th of October. That is going to be open for all, in fact. And I believe that all of you will be writing the test. The test timing is already mentioned in the brochure itself. Fine. So you have to further test timing because we will still send you the link. In fact, good evening, Rohit. So we'll send you the link, and through the link only you all will get the essay paper, and you have to write down the essay, of course, after downloading the paper at your home, and then you have to again upload it. You have to scan it and then upload it in the PDF file. Then the paper will come to us, and we'll evaluate that also. And then 13th of October, whatever papers will come to us, we will evaluate those papers, and then accordingly, we will have a session with all of you. All right, a session especially in the context of that what you have written and what exactly should have been there in the context of expression. Fine. So that is actually going to be one aspect of this so-called test series. But we'll come to the test series after discussing the issues of how to begin with your main preparation. All right, let us first of all discuss the mains preparation strategy, and then in the second half, we'll actually be focusing upon the significance of mains test series and how it is going to be beneficial for all of you, in fact. So let us be very specific. So first and foremost, let us discuss about the main examination, and that is going to be conducted from January, in fact, first week of January 2021. So that is the date of your examination. Fine. So effectively, you guys are having 90 days in your hand, not even 90 days, even less than that now. So 90 days are there in your hand. Now, if you calculate your 90 days very scientifically, then you will come out with this conclusion that each paper does not have, let's say, more than 20 to 22 to 23 days effectively. So I would say don't even keep 23 days, keep it only 20 days. So 20 days effectively are there with you to prepare each let's say each paper of GS. In fact, paper 1, 2, 3, 4. Fine. So in 20 days preparing GS papers of 1, 2, 3, 4, if you have not done this exercise in the past, I would say that it is humanly impossible task. All right, it is humanly impossible task, especially for those students, for those guys who had not worked in the past as far as their main syllabus is concerned. That is one thing. Secondly, those who have done it, now for them it is also going to be equally a very challenging period, because now your days are going to move so swiftly, pass so swiftly, that you will not even able to remember what was the date of or date on your calendar yesterday. So that is going to be a time period for all of you who are going to write the main examination this year. And secondly, you have to understand that in this particular limited time period only, you have to prepare a syllabus which is quite mammoth. All right. So how to deal with that? Let us discuss first and foremost that aspect. See, as I just given you a basic idea that in 90 days you have to prepare 4 paper of GS. That is one task that all of you are supposed to do. Second task is equally in the context of that you have to also ensure that your optional is equally well prepared. Fine. So optional will also matter a lot in this another 30, or you can say 3 months or 90 days period. So of course, optional is also going to be very, very important. Thirdly, even essays, some of the essays or some of the practices in essay are also required. So of course, in essay also you need some uh, idea of practice, or some, you can say, practice must have been done also in essay. So that is going to be third important aspect. Fourth important aspect is equally very important, and that is where many people have also miss out. That is to qualify your let's say the language papers. Now English or even the regional language, if it is Hindi or maybe Marathi or maybe let's say Odia, whatever. So you have to find out that particular option also to qualify your the language papers, in fact, and because without that language paper, your papers are not going to be evaluated, and your entire task, entire effort would go into vain. All right, it will be completely wasted. So therefore you cannot take a chance, you cannot take a risk also on language. Fine. For example, during my time also, I used to also work upon my one language, that was Hindi, because of course Hindi also has to be worked nicely, especially in terms of writing practice. फाइन. मैं आपको कुछ एग्जांपल बताता हूँ. मेरे साथ क्या हुआ कि पहली बार जब मैंने मेंस लिखा, तो बिना हिंदी पढ़े हुए चला गया, लगा कि तो क्वालिफाई कर जाएंगे आसानी से, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. चला तो गया, लेकिन हिंदी लिखे हुए मुझे कम से कम 7-8 साल हो गए थे. लास्ट टाइम हिंदी जो मैंने लिखा था वो लिखा था ग्रेजुएशन के फर्स्ट ईयर में, जब मेरे पास एक ऑप्शनल एक लैंग्वेज पेपर होता था। तो ग्रेजुएशन के फर्स्ट ईयर जो मैंने 1998 में लिखा था, उसके बाद आप समझ सकते हैं 2006 का मेंस मैंने लिखा, तो उस समय पहली बार हिंदी मैंने लिखा। और मैं आपको अभी बता रहा हूँ, फ्रैंकली बता रहा हूँ, आई हैव टू एडमिट इट, मुझसे री नहीं लिखा गया, ऋषि का री नहीं लिखा गया। आई फॉरगॉट टू राइट हाउ टू राइट री, ठीक है। और इतना ज्यादा वो एम्बैरेसिंग मोमेंट था मेरे लिए एग्जामिनेशन हॉल के अंदर कि एक री बचपन से सिखाया गया वो मैं भूल चुका था लिखना। तो ये मैं कुछ प्रैक्टिकल एग्जांपल्स आपको बता रहा हूँ कि इट हैपेंस, ठीक है। अगर आप हिंदी में बहुत ज्यादा कंफर्टेबल नहीं है और आपने लिखना छोड़ दिया काफी दिनों से, तो आपको हर्षिकार और दीर्घिकार और हर्षुकार द्रुगा में इतना दिक्कत होगा कि आपको स्कूल में क में हर्षुकार होगा कि दीर्घकार होगा, उसी में आप सोचते रह जाएंगे, ठीक है। तो कहने का मतलब ये है कि ये कुछ बेसिक चैलेंजेस आते हैं हिंदी के अंदर, ठीक है। एंड यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड बिकॉज यू हैव टू राइट एन एसे आल्सो इन हिंदी, ठीक है। और वहां पे अब एसे लिखना है और यू आर अनेबल टू फाइंड आउट अ प्रॉपर वर्ड, तो क्या होगा कि एक एसे जो आप समझ सकते हैं 400-500 वर्ड में लिखना है, उसको लिखने में ही आपको 1 घंटा लग जाएगा। तो ये कुछ प्रैक्टिकल डिफिकल्टीज आते हैं एग्जामिनेशन हॉल के अंदर, जो इस एग्जाम को देगा वही बता पाएगा। तो कहने का मतलब ये है कि यू गाइज हैव टू डू दिस प्रैक्टिस आल्सो टाइम एंड ऑफन। इन फैक्ट, whenever you get a time to see through the your language papers, must look into that, because understand, सारा का सारा एफर्ट आपका वेस्ट हो जाएगा, ये सबसे बड़ा डर है इस लैंग्वेज पेपर से। और मैं अपने एक मित्र के बारे में बताता हूँ जो आज आईपीएस हैं, मेरे ही जिले में है, ठीक है। he failed in English paper twice, not once, twice, ठीक है। तो 2 बार वो इंग्लिश में फेल कर गया, इसके कारण उसकी कॉपी ही चेक नहीं हुई 2 बार। फाइनली ही गॉट सिलेक्टेड, he became an IAPS officer, but that is the story. All right, that is a story that we have seen also in very near of our surrounding, in fact. So the point you have to understand that you cannot take a chance, you cannot take this also issue so lightly, ठीक है। So you guys have to do this exercise also in terms of looking at your language papers as well whenever you will get some time and opportunity. Fine, that is the point. Now see, I have simply identified what all tasks you guys are supposed to do. Now you have the task of preparing your, let's say, the optional, the GS, or of course essay, and also looking into briefly on your language papers. Fine. Now that's the reason why this is going to be most crucial period for all of you who are going to write the main examination. Now the point is how to prepare in 20 days the syllabus of GS paper 1 or paper 2 or paper 3 or paper 4. Now again you will have to apply some scientific basis to allocate the time and allocate the, you can say, hours to prepare your entire syllabus. Fine. Now see, what is to be done now, that first and foremost you have to find out that in what context, I have to prepare my syllabus of GS paper 1, 2, 3, 4. I have to prepare it in the context of writing the answers of GS paper 1, 2, 3, 4 thoroughly. So for that, I should have a fair idea about that what actually has been the nature of questions of UPSC and what exactly is the need of the hour or need of that hour when I will be going to write my answers also in GS paper. See, first of all, you guys have to see through the question paper of last at least 3 years. I won't say see into the last 10 years papers, leave 10 years. See only last 3 years of GS mains paper of UPSC, of each paper, paper 1, 2, 3, 4, fine. Even essay I would suggest, see also essay paper, fine. Even your optional, I will suggest see your optional papers, and even see English and Hindi papers if you are writing Hindi as a regional language. All right. So see, this is what actually going to be a task for all of you. That is the first task for all of you. Fine. Having gone through the question papers, the second task would be to keep the syllabus in front of you. I have sent you the PDF file of the test series brochure, wherein I have mentioned or I have given the syllabus of UPSC for the mains, especially of GS. So GS syllabus is already mentioned there. Take out a printout of that syllabus and paste it in front of your wall wherever you are studying, in front of your table or in front of your table wall, whatever. All right. So paste it there and simply underline those particular words of your syllabus where you have no idea at all that what is to be done in this particular part. Fine. Suppose I give an example. There in the syllabus, the words are mentioned like corporate governance. Let's say it is mentioned there in paper 2, GS paper 2 and also GS paper 4. Fine. In ethics paper also, in GS paper 2 also this word is mentioned, that is corporate governance. Then they also mention about citizens charter, that is also mentioned there in the syllabus. Fine. They also mention about the developmental processes. Fine. So the idea is these words are mentioned in the syllabus very clearly. Fine. They've also mentioned the words very clearly either in geography or also in economy, even in the case of internal security or ethics. So see those words, underline those words where you have no idea at all what actually is the content or would be the content of this particular word. Fine. Encircle those areas, those pockets of your syllabus where you have some typical difficulty in terms of lack of material, not in terms of lack of memory or lack of you can say recalling of those particular aspects. That can be done. If you have material, you can revise, you can read, and you can develop this particular idea. First of all, identify where you have no material. No material means you have nothing to read about it. All right. So identify that pocket, and in the next, let's say 5 to 6 or maybe 7 days, you keep 2 hours per day. 2 hours per day to find out the exact source of those areas that you have identified in every paper of GS 1, 2, 3, 4. And the same principle or the same step you have to adopt even for your optional paper. So the next 7 days are going to be very crucial for all of you. Next 7 days should be completely based upon covering the entire syllabus in toto, collecting the material of syllabus in toto, and once it is collected, then you have to now concentrate completely on that particular material only. Fine. And while concentrating on that material, you have to ensure that suppose if I am starting, let's say, studying something on history, so I have to ensure that in history, what actually is the syllabus and from which particular part of syllabus to which part of syllabus have been asked in last 3 years of the main examination. And those last 3 years question of main examination would give me an insight that in this entire syllabus of history, these pockets have been asked in last 3 years. Now, definitely those 3 pockets you can skip, but the rest of the pockets are definitely going to be very important as far as UPSC exam is going to be concerned. Because normally in UPSC, they hardly repeat the questions. They hardly repeat the questions, yet you have to prepare that aspect which has already been asked by UPSC also in the past. Suppose I give you one small example to understand my statement. See, in 2019 mains examination, UPSC had asked you a question that was very interesting question, and that was in history, that is in modern India. They had asked you about that in the period of Gandhian movement, in the period of the Gandhian movement, which all parallel movements and parallel, of course, organizations, they supported the spirit of Gandhian movement. They supported the spirit of Gandhian movement. Now see, this appears to be simple. This seems to be a simple for those who perhaps may not have gone through the entire syllabus properly, because they will perhaps feel like they have to explain only the Gandhian movement. They will come down to the story of non-cooperation movement to CDM and the Quit India movement, and the story is ended. No, that's the incorrect answer. In fact, they are not asking you to write about the NCM or the Quit India movement or even the let's say CDM. They are asking you the parallel movements going on in India between 1915 to 1947. In 1915 to 1947, that is the period of Gandhian movement. So in this period, apart from the Gandhian movement, what all parallel movements were going on in India? So you have to write it about the socialist movement, the communist movement, the women empowerment movement, the, let's say, the peasants movement, the tribal movement. Now these all things you have to write to support the Gandhian movement. अगर आप इस पे नहीं सोचेंगे तो आप क्या करके आएंगे एग्जाम के अंदर? एग्जाम में आप जाएंगे फटाफट एनसीएम टेंसीएम जितने याद किया था आपने सब वहां पे लिख के चले आएंगे, कहेंगे आपका आंसर लिख लिया. Now see, this is how UPSC tests your knowledge, your understanding about any particular segment of syllabus. And there only the real stamina is tested by UPSC. The real stamina, especially in the context of that whether you have understood the syllabus completely or not. And if they come out with this particular conclusion that you have written wrong lines, of course they have got an idea that you have not actually understood the syllabus properly. So see, these are examples to make you understand what are you supposed to do in fact while covering the syllabus. So point is that, of course, what you are supposed to do in next 20 days, after you have to make a calendar very clearly. Let me tell you, put a calendar in front of your wall, on the wall, and make it very clear that in next 20 days what is going to be my target. The next 20 days what is going to be my target. Fine. So since 20 days is the time period for the entire paper 1, not only for history, not only for geography, not only for social issues. That is the real challenge. That exactly the real challenge. Is it possible to prepare the syllabus of history, geography, social issues within 20 days? So I say no, impossible. 20 days में तो आप spectrum ही नहीं पढ़ पाएंगे. All right, ये मैं जानता हूँ. It is not possible to even go through the entire spectrum in 20 days. So then how to prepare the entire syllabus in 20 days? Therefore, the answer comes here that if you have not prepared the main syllabus before writing the prelims, you have already endangered your attempt. You have already endangered your attempt because your attempt is going to be wasted. So that is the reason why it is very important and pertinent to understand that once you have written the prelims, it is understood, it is understandable by others also that you have already done this exercise of mains preparation. Therefore, you have written the exam of prelims. And let me tell you, prelims is generally qualified in UPSC by those candidates who have already done some work in the mains. All right. So some work in the mains, if you have been able to do it, then only you will be able to qualify it. All right. So hello Chirant, how are you?
Hello sir, I'm good sir, thank you.
Good.
Sorry, I'm a little bit late.
No, good to see you. Good to see you. So this is what actually would be the idea. Fine. So the point is that what you have to understand, you have to first of all make it clear that yes, I have done some preparation in the past, and according to my preparation, now I have to make a proper strategy for the next 20 days for each subject. Now there I would have to make a strategy that in the entire syllabus, what are the gray areas which I have to prepare first. In fact, where I have not worked any, in the past also, I have no idea about those particular areas. So next 7 days, you collect the material of those gray areas. All right, that is one step. Second step is then you see that which of those areas you have done some work in the past. For example, I can give you one example that, many of you, those who have written this prelims seriously, they have already gone through the main syllabus at least once. Now, since they have gone through the main syllabus at least once, so now it is up to you that you have to now define this next 20 days in such a manner that whatever notes you have, let's say your notes is there from the class notes of some coaching institute. So whatever notes you have, you first of all will revise those notes, because revision of notes would be done in a very less period of time, in a very less, you can say period of time, you can prepare that particular syllabus. So what you have to do, revise your class notes first, because it can be done in 2 to 3 days at the max. 3 days at the max, I would suggest. So in 3 days, you can revise the entire class notes of, let's say, social issues. Fine. Once you have done it, then you see the syllabus of social issues. and then find out that in which all part of social issues, again, the content is perhaps little less. Little less means that you don't have 150 to 100 words to explain that. Fine. If you have any problem in any segment, let's say I give an example, women organization. Now, suppose in women organization, you don't have the content to explain the idea into 50 words or idea into 150 words. So for that particular area, you have to find out any reliable source. And the best reliable source as far as social issues are concerned, it is the material of IGNOU of BA program. All right, because direct questions have been asked by UPSC from the same material. That is a point. Fine. So idea is you can prepare it from there only. So maybe another 3-4 days you will require to prepare the entire syllabus of social issues. So in nutshell, you can prepare the social issues in not more than 8 to 10 days. That is sufficient. 8 days sufficient. Because I'm giving you this idea, reason being, social issues have become focus of UPSC last couple of years mains examination. See the questions of social issues of last 2 to 3 years of main examination of UPSC, you will realize that out of 20, at least 7 to 8 minimum, they're asking every time. 7 to 8 minimum. It could be even 10 in 2018 mains examination. It was 10 questions in 2018 mains examination. So out of 20, half of the questions were asked from social issues. So that's what actually is the indication of UPSC, that they are going to ask you more socially pertinent issues as far as questions of the mains are concerned. Therefore, they have shifted the significance on social issues more than historical or maybe some geographical issues in that way. Because in geography, they have the scope to ask geography also in the case of environment in GS paper 3. Therefore, they can also, of course, play with the particular number of questions of geography with social issues associated with geography in that way. So that is one point. Secondly, you have to also understand that history is very vast as far as syllabus is concerned. Very vast. It's too much. I mean, as far as GS is concerned, it could be a complete paper at all. I mean, entire paper could be only on history. But here you have to prepare history along with geography and social issues also. So see, history is another very vast area. So what you're supposed to do, you have to prepare history overall in the chronological sense. Just try to recall entire history under proper chronology. Proper chronology. Because if you remember the chronology properly, your entire task would become very easy to write and also to prepare the entire syllabus of history. So this part you have to prepare first, that is entire chronology of history, especially of modern India. Fine, that is one thing. Secondly, in art and culture, now you don't have to rush for reading Singhania or XYZ books available in the market. No, don't commit this blunder again. So what you do, simply see through the NCERT of fine arts, and also NCERT of your ancient and medieval, written by R.S. Sharma and Satish Chandra. And there in those NCERT, you don't have to read entire, let's say 18 chapters of ancient India or entire 14 chapters of Satish Chandra. No. Simply refer those areas from where the questions will be asked. First of all, the question will be asked from the art and cultural perspective. So what you have to do, prepare Harappan culture completely. And when you prepare the Harappan culture properly or completely, you have to also prepare slight background of that. So obviously you are going to prepare the megalithic and also the Iron Age culture. So UPSC may ask you some difficult question also for megalithic culture completely. Fine. So prepare that aspect, then shift to the entire area, entire focus should be on your Buddhism and Jainism, because obviously this is going to be always a very important topic from UPSC perspective. So Buddhism, Jainism, will prepare that. Then in Buddhism, Jainism, also in the 6th century BCE, whatever other contributions were there apart from Buddhism, Jainism, you also prepare that aspect from the cultural perspective. Fine. And then you also move to the other parts, especially the Maurya and post-Maurya part is very important from cultural perspective. Because the kind of cultural, you can say, progress was found in ancient India was extremely very very much you can say appreciable, especially in the context of postmodern history. So postmodern history is to prepare very thoroughly, nicely from the same NCERT. That's it. All right. This is how you have to cover the syllabus. Then similarly, Gupta and post-Gupta period, because this year in the prelims they have emphasized more upon post-Gupta period. See the question of history, which is also an indication that which kind of mindset is there, what kind of mindset is there in UPSC members to set a question in this year's prelims. Prelims questions are always a clear indication of the exact mindset of the people who are involved in the paper setting. So what you need to do and understand that this year they have asked you good number of questions from post-Gupta period as far as your prelims questions are concerned. So post-Gupta period, again, you have to prepare thoroughly. You might be asked about the early evidences of the, let's say, the Nagara style of architecture. Early evidences, not even Nagara style. They will ask you early evidences of Nagara style of architecture. Now, if you don't have that idea, then of course you will be having a problem. So this is what you have to do as far as you're covering a syllabus of history is concerned. Then similarly, also you have to apply the same particular logic in terms of preparing the syllabus of world history. So world history, again, you have to prepare in the context of only the entire chronological aspect. The what happened at what point of time, what was the major consequence of every event of world history, that is very important for you. And let me tell you one thing, when you read world history from any source, whether you take the source of NCERT only, all right, or maybe your class notes, whatever. When you read NCERT or your class notes, you have to only keep in mind that while reading any episode of world history, how is that episode relevant in today's world? If I'm studying something, let's say World War I or World War II, I'm not concerned about those factual details, that what all wars, what all battles were fought between these two countries, between these 5 countries. This is not going to be asked. And if even if you don't remember it, it hardly matters. You will not be disqualified to become an IAS. All right. So what is going to matter? It is what you have learned from World War I and World War II, that is going to be matter. So what you have to learn the consequence of those episodes and how those consequences are still relevant in the present scenario, whether it is in the context of the ideology of socialism or the context of, let's say, the various socialistic thoughts that actually emerged after the World War I in that way. So idea is, that is how you have to take up the world history part also in the context of, first of all, understanding the syllabus in proper chronology, and then also remembering the, of course, the consequences of that. Because I am pretty sure this time in the main they will be asking you that how the world recovered from the great economic depression of 1929. Explain. Do you find any resemblance? Do you find any resemblance in the contemporary time with the great economic depression of 1929? What measures are recommended to address the current economic crisis, learning from the New Deal of America? Now see, this is definitely a very important issue for this year's main examination. And for sure, if one question will be asked by UPSC from world history, this is going to be asked to you from world history, because they want to check whether you have some fair idea about what has happened, like the pandemic under which we are suffering. We had already suffered also in 1920s. Same sort of pandemic also took place. So whether, how, in what sense we were able to overcome those challenges or not. So you have to know about it, because that is actually going to be applicable in current time. Fine. So this is what you have to understand while going through the world history and see the question. I mean, this is not what I'm saying from my own perspective. I have built up this perspective after analyzing the questions of last 5, 6, 7 years. And see the questions, you will come out to this conclusion. Yes, I'm absolutely right. They asked you last time, what were the learnings from what are the modern foundations from the French Revolution and American Revolution? So what were the learnings from the French and American revolutions in the contemporary world? That was a question asked last time in the main examination. That was one question asked from world history. That's it. So that is the point. So point is about not remembering the facts, because teachers, they emphasize more upon the facts. If you learn these all aspects from a teacher, so teacher would put up so much of facts before you that you will find out, okay, my God, what a fantastic teacher he. So don't go by that. You simply go by this logic that I am not a machine, that I will be able to recall each and every fact. But definitely I am a common man, I'm a learned man, I'm a person who wants to learn some new thing. Since I have gone to the world history, I have a fair idea about how the episodes of world history has unfolded. So on that basis, I will narrate my point of view. And this exactly is required as an bureaucrat for all of you, in fact. Fine. So this is what you have to understand as far as preparing syllabus of your world history is also concerned. So ये इसमें करना क्या होगा, इसमें थोड़ा स्मार्ट स्टडी लगाना होगा कि अगर आप पूरा वर्ल्ड हिस्ट्री फिर से पढ़ना शुरू कर देंगे तो विल कंज्यूम योर एंटायर मंथ, और उससे एक क्वेश्चन भी नहीं आएगा हो सकता है, तो फिर प्रिपरेशन तो पूरा बर्बाद हो गया आपका एक मंथ का. सो इसलिए इसमें स्मार्ट स्टडी करना है कि कहीं से भी रेडीमेड मटेरियल मिल जाए आपको. क्लास नोट्स आपका है, बहुत अच्छी बात है. नहीं है, किसी भी मित्र से, किसी भी दोस्त से जिनकी अच्छे क्लास नोट्स हो, उसको ले लेना है, उसको पूरा पढ़ जाना है. सबसे कम समय में वर्ल्ड से तैयार हो सकता है. ऐसे पूरा पढ़ जाना है. पढ़ने के दौरान आपको ध्यान रखना है कि आपके लिए ये एपिसोड आज की डेट में कैसे रेलेवेंट है, बस. ठीक है, इतना आप कर लेंगे तो आपका काम वर्ल्ड हिस्ट्री से पूरा हो जाएगा. That's what you have to do. ठीक है. So having said that, then you have to also apply the same logic in terms of preparing the geography aspect. Now see, geography questions are also asked directly from your syllabus. पूरा वर्ड बाय वर्ड वो सिलेबस उठा के पूछ लेते हैं, और क्या करते हैं, दो वर्ड्स को मिक्स कर देंगे ज्योग्राफी क्वेश्चंस में. That how transportation will help in economic revivalism, how transportation will help in urbanization. अब उसमें ट्रांसपोर्टेशन में डुबा दिया, उसमें अर्बनाइजेशन में घुसा दिया, अब दोनों को मिला के क्वेश्चन बना दिया. ठीक है, तो है क्या कि सिलेबस में सब मेंशन किया हुआ है. दे आर वेरी क्लियरली मेंशन्ड अबाउट कोरल रीफ्स, मैनग्रोव, बायोडाइवर्सिटी, ऑलराइट, नेचुरल रिसोर्सेज, मिनरल रिसोर्सेज, सारा सिलेबस में मेंशन किया हुआ है. वर्ड बाय वर्ड आप पढ़ेंगे, आपको सारा वर्ड दिख जाएगा सिलेबस के, ज्योग्राफी के सिलेबस में. तो आपको करना क्या है कि उस सिलेबस के बारे में भाई साहब आपको पता होना चाहिए यार, कि वो कॉन्सेप्ट क्या है, उस कॉन्सेप्ट को कैसे एक्सप्लेन किया जाता है ज्योग्राफी में. और जब ज्योग्राफी के क्वेश्चंस को आप एक्सप्लेन कर रहे हैं तो मैप बनाना भूलिए मत, चाहे आप किसी भी फील्ड से हो. ठीक है, मतलब आपको एक हैबिट अब आ जाना चाहिए कि कोई भी चीज एक्सप्लेन करने के पहले आप डायग्राम अगर सोच सकते हैं डायग्राम बनाइए, फ्लो चार्ट बना सकते हैं, थोड़ा बहुत फ्लो चार्ट बनाइए. ओवर डूइंग नहीं करना है, लेकिन हाँ बैलेंस्ड प्रेजेंटेशन करना है. तो फ्लो चार्ट बनाइए, नहीं बन सकता है तो मैप बना दीजिए. और इंडिया का मैप बनाने की हैबिट आप सबके अंदर हो जानी चाहिए. मतलब 10 सेकंड के अंदर इंडिया का मैप आप ड्रॉ कर ले फटाफट. ये अब आपको सीखना है अगले 30 दिन के, 90 दिन के अंदर. ठीक है, और इसका यूज मल्टीपल टाइम्स है. इसका यूज आप ज्योग्राफी में भी करेंगे, पेपर 1 में भी करेंगे, पेपर 2 में भी कर सकते हैं आईआर के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में, पेपर 3 में भी कर सकते हैं इंटरनल सिक्योरिटी के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में. तो इंडिया का मैप तो अब आपके पास ऐसा होना चाहिए, घर में बैठे भी हुए बात भी कर रहे हैं तो ड्रॉ हो जाना चाहिए इंडिया का मैप फटाफट. ये एक एबिलिटी अब आपको डेवलप कर लेनी है. इससे आपको ओवरऑल पूरा पेपर में कम से कम 2-4 मार्क्स का इंप्रूवमेंट होगा ही होगा. ठीक है, दैट्स व्हाट एक्चुअली यू हैव टू लर्न डूइंग दिस पर्टिकुलर एक्सरसाइज. So in geography also you have to underline those particular segment of syllabus and find out that where those particular content is very nicely given. As far as the words that I have mentioned about coral reef and all those things, it is very nicely given in GC Leong. All of you must be knowing also about it. So if you are thorough with GC Leong, if you have been thorough with the NCERT, I don't think personally that you need anything else than these two books as far as your main syllabus is concerned. Afterwards, you need only the presence of mind and common sense to relate the concepts and of course explain the idea of geography there in the examination. One thing you have to remember that अगर जहां भी मौका मिले आप ज्योग्राफी में मैप बना देंगे तो आप किसी भी स्ट्रीम से होंगे आपको नंबर एक्स्ट्रा मिलेगा ही मिलेगा. That is a physical fact. ठीक है, That is what you have to do for paper 1 in totality. Now paper 1 का syllabus सबसे बड़ा है. The biggest syllabus of entire GS paper is in paper 1. Therefore, depending or rather, in fact, I would say, according to your own preparation, devise a strategy for paper 1. Because if suppose I give an example, if suppose you have not been sound, you have not prepared the paper 1 thoroughly in the past, then you may take some 5 extra days, 6 extra days to prepare your entire paper 1 of syllabus nicely, because that is the only area where you will have to pay extra attention, because there are 3 major areas, 3 major dominant areas like history, geography and social issues. ये अपने आप में पूरा का पूरा एक एरिया ही है, सब्जेक्ट ही है, आपको पता भी, ऑप्शनल भी यही ज्यादा लोग लेते हैं, या तो हिस्ट्री या तो ज्योग्राफी या तो सोशियोलॉजी. ऑलराइट, सो दैट्स एक्चुअली द रीजन. सो ये एरिया के लिए यू कैन आल्सो गो फॉर इवन नॉट 20 days, let's take 25 days, but prepare it nicely. In GS paper 2, you may be having certain advantage if you have been thorough with the newspaper. See, GS paper 2, I would suggest if you have not been thorough with the newspaper, then you're going to have a tough time. You cannot perform better in GS paper 2 without having a thorough understanding on current affairs. Only on the basis of, let's say, Lakshmikant, you will not be able to perform, you will not be able to do justice, I would say, in this program manner. Justice with GS paper 2, because GS paper 2, of course, it belongs to polity, governance, just social justice and international relations. But at the same time, these all aspects are highly contemporary. And when I said contemporary, let me tell you one more thing to understand it. Contemporary does not mean only the last 1 year of development of current affairs. Contemporary means the last couple of years of development of the current affairs. See that the year 2020, the questions of prelims in 2020 have been taken up from the developments of the month of August, September 2018. 2019 नहीं, 2018, अगस्त, जुलाई, अगस्त, सितंबर 2018 के करंट अफेयर्स को उठा के देख लीजिए और अभी के पेपर को देख लीजिए. You will find out of 100, at least 20 questions have been asked from these 3 months of 2018. अब 18 का कंटेंट अभी वाले बच्चों को तो याद नहीं होगा, उन्होंने पढ़ा नहीं होगा, तो 19 से ही पढ़ना शुरू किए होंगे करंट अफेयर्स. Fine. So you understand few things. Current affairs, what we have presumed without any UPSC clarifying this idea, that current affairs only means current affairs of last 1 year. That is our mistake. No, it is not last 1 year. It is at least last couple of years. And especially in polity section, polity governance section, the last 2 to 2.5 years, whatever major developments have taken place, those all are going to be equally very, very important in this year's main examination. So what I was trying to explain to you, that read the syllabus very minutely, and while underlining the syllabus, just try to look into the last 2 to 2.5 years of current affairs. And whichever content is relevant to your syllabus of polity and governance from current affairs, you simply mark it there. Syllabus में लिख लीजिए वहीं पे कि ये जो वर्ड है ये सितंबर 2018 के करंट अफेयर्स में इसके ऊपर आया हुआ है इशू, ताकि जब आप सिलेबस रिवाइज करें तो आपको याद रहे सितंबर 2018 का करंट अफेयर्स में पढ़ना है, नहीं तो सब भूल जाएंगे आप अगले 1.5 महीने बाद. ठीक है. So now it is it's a time to make yourself highly organized, and those who are highly organized, they are going to be dangerous in this examination for sure for their competitors. All right. So what you have to do, सिलेबस में लिख लीजिए कि भाई इसके लिए मुझे योजना का जुलाई का इश्यू में इसके ऊपर कवर किया हुआ है एनजीओस के ऊपर. So suppose the NGO is a syllabus, of course for NGO you will not get the current affairs material from your Lakshmikant book. In Lakshmikant you can only get the traditional material or the conventional material, but on NGO the question will be not asked from the conventional material. It will be asked from last couple of years of development on NGOs, whether it could be FCRA law and the relationship with the FCRA law with NGOs. So my point was that when you read NGOs, you have already gone through the current affairs. Try to relate कि current affairs के जुलाई month में 2019 में NGOs के ऊपर there has been some development that took place. Mention there only that NGO जब हम prepare करेंगे तो अपने notes के साथ साथ ये जुलाई महीने के 2019 का जो आया हुआ है करंट अफेयर्स या मैगजीन जो है, उसको शॉर्ट फॉर्म में लिख लेंगे कि ये भी मुझे तैयार करना है एनजीओ के साथ, ठीक है। देन योर प्रिपरेशन फॉर पेपर 2 वुड बी प्रॉपरली डन एंड वेरी साउंड। अब क्या होगा कि या तो वो एनजीओ पूछेंगे, दो ही तरीका है पूछने का, वो पूछेंगे या तो व्हाट इज द स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ एनजीओ, व्हाट आर द फंक्शंस ऑफ एनजीओ एंड व्हाट इज द रिलेशनशिप विद एनजीओ विद द गवर्नमेंट, जो कि ट्रेडिशनल कॉन्सेप्ट है, ठीक। ये पूछेंगे, आपके पास कंटेंट ऑलरेडी आपने पढ़ा हुआ है अपने नोट से। दूसरा पूछेंगे एनजीओ और एफसीआरए लॉ का रिलेशनशिप, एनजीओ उसके फंक्शंस, उसके चैलेंजेस जो करंट डोमेन में दिखे गए हैं, और फिर एफसीआरए लॉ कैसे उस पर रेन इन करता है, कंट्रोल करता है। तो ये करंट अफेयर्स का पार्ट है, तो वो भी आपने पढ़ लिया। तो क्वेश्चन एनजीओ पे कुछ भी यूपीएससी पूछेगा, यू हैव ऑल द कंटेंट विथ यू, दैट इज आइडिया बेसिकली। So for paper 2, you will have to apply this principle. Fine. Similarly, you have to find out that at least on major developments of international relations, you have content. You have content on IR, traditional, and as well as current affairs. And of course, while going through the current affairs, you can also get the traditional information also from current affairs magazine. So current affairs में जो भी major developments हुए हैं IR में, that is what you have to prepare as far as your main is concerned, main examination is concerned. Fine. Thirdly, you have the element of social justice or content of social justice also in paper 2. See, social justice and the governance part of paper 2, GS paper 2. Now, for this two segments, you need to prepare, you need to look into, I would say, the issues of Yojana. Issues of Yojana only in the context of these two content, governance and social justice. And whatever issues of Yojana were covered in last 2 years on these two topics, simply pick out those yojanas and read at least the very first article of every yojana of that particular magazine or that particular issue. In fact, only one article, not entire yojana. एक article पढ़ना होता है, पहला वाला, उसमें सारा उसमें story योजना का मिल जाता है हमें. So that's what actually you have to do as far as your governance and social justice is concerned. Secondly, ARC रिपोर्ट आपको पढ़ना नहीं है। आप क्या कीजिए, कहीं से भी ऑनलाइन में मिल जाएगा आपको रेडीमेड कॉन्साइज समरी ऑफ ARC रिपोर्ट। ऑलराइट, जस्ट कलेक्ट दैट ARC रिपोर्ट एज अ समरी, दैट्स इट, नॉट एंटायर बुक। ऑलराइट, समरी you collect it and see the issues and how those summary have explained that issue very nicely in fact. So collect those informations and use that information in paper 2. Either it is asked directly or even it is not asked directly, you must quote the ARC report in the context of justifying your answer there in GS paper 2. Must quote. GS paper 2 में एकदम कोट करना है, essay में कोट करना है। तो ये सब कुछ टेक्निक है जो आप भूलेंगे नहीं, क्योंकि एज अ ब्यूरोक्रेट यही आपको करना होता है वहां पे भी, ठीक है। तो वो अभी से लर्न करना है। सो ARC रिपोर्ट यू हैव टू कलेक्ट इट इन द फॉर्म ऑफ अ वेरी कॉन्साइज मैनर, दैट्स व्हाट। थिर्डली, प्रिपेयर द सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल्स। 17 के 17 गोल आपको याद हो जाने चाहिए, पूरे दीवार में चिपका दीजिए अभी इससे बैठ के, ठीक है। और याद रखिए, क्वेश्चन कहीं भी आया हो, चाहे ज्योग्राफी में हो, चाहे वो पॉलिटी में हो, चाहे वो इकोनॉमी के सेंस में हो, चाहे वो इवन एथिक्स में हो, एस्से में हो, कोट कर देना है, छाप देना है। SDG गोल नंबर 5 पॉवर्टी में बात करता है, ठीक है। अंडरलाइन भी कर देना है आंसर में हमेशा, ताकि एग्जामिनर को लगे कि भैया ये पढ़ा आदमी है, पढ़ा लिखा आदमी है, इसको पता है SDG क्या होता है, ठीक है। दैट्स व्हाई यू हैव टू गिव दैट इंप्रेशन आल्सो टू द एग्जामिनर, ठीक है। तो वो भी काम करना है, इसलिए उसको भी तैयार करके रख लेना अभी के अभी। कहीं पे भी मिला होगा, आपको मिल गया होगा SDG का रिपोर्ट, उस चिपका लीजिए दीवार पे, ठीक है। नीति आयोग का रिपोर्ट भी आपको कोट करना है, ठीक है। दैट्स द लास्ट यू कैन से टूल टू स्कोर गुड मार्क्स इन पेपर 2। एंड लेट मी टेल यू, नीति आयोग के रिपोर्ट को आप नीति आयोग के वेबसाइट जाकर सर्च कर लीजिएगा। अगर 10 रिपोर्ट उन्होंने निकाले हैं पिछले 1.5-2 साल में, उसमें से 3 क्वेश्चन आपको आएंगे इस पर मेंस में, 3 से 4 क्वेश्चन मिनिमम मेंस में आएंगे फॉर श्योर। ठीक है, चाहे वो वाटर स्ट्रेस के ऊपर हो, लास्ट समय आया था, देयर वाज अ क्वेश्चन लास्ट ईयर इन जीएस मेंस पेपर 1, व्हाट इज वाटर स्ट्रेस। वाटर स्ट्रेस डायरेक्टली उन्होंने नीति आयोग की रिपोर्ट से कोट कर दिया था, ठीक है। सो इसलिए उसको प्रिपेयर करना है, उसके रिपोर्ट्स को देख लेना है, प्रिपेयर मतलब देख लेना है ब्रीफली इनफैक्ट, कि इशू क्या है और किस इशू पे बात किया हुआ है, ठीक है। उतना आपके सेंस आपके पास है कि उतना आप आइडिया निकाल के लिख सकते हैं आंसर्स, ठीक है। दैट्स व्हाट यू हैव टू डू एज फार नीति आयोग इज कंसर्न। किसी के पास समरी मिल जाए तो समरी आपको देख लेना है, जहां से भी हो आपको सिर्फ नीति आयोग के बारे में पता होना चाहिए, व्हाट ऑल रिपोर्ट्स आर देयर, यू शुड नो अबाउट इट, दैट्स इट, ठीक है। इन डेप्थ एनालिसिस नहीं भी है कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है, उतना टाइम ही नहीं होता वहां इन डेप्थ एनालिसिस करने का। दैट्स व्हाई इट्स अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट। You have to write either in 150 words or in 250 words. So you don't have a scope to analyze it from XYZ perspective. All right. You have to only write it down from the factual perspective, write it down, move ahead. All right. That's what you have to do. So ये काम करना है आपको paper 2 के लिए thoroughly. Similarly, paper 3 is also completely based upon current affairs, but paper 3 questions are most likely or have been most likely been asked by UPSC directly from the syllabus. Syllabus word by word they have asked you from GS paper or in GS paper 3 in fact. So see GS paper 3, it is including of economy, it is having the segment of internal security, it is having the segment of science and technology, it is having segment of environment. Fine. So these 4 segments are there in GS paper 3 and all these 4 segments are highly dynamic in fact. But at the same time, they will be asking you some traditional concepts also in paper 3 in fact. For example, last time they asked you, what do you mean by integrated farming system? This was a question asked in GS paper 3. Integrated farming system. Fine. So the idea is they may also ask you, what is climate resilient agriculture practice? Fine. What is zero-based budgeting? Zero-based farming system. All right, zero-based natural farming system. So idea is these terms are equally very important, especially if these terms have been covered in economic survey of last 2 years. So for that, I will prepare a list of that. I will give you a list of the words and terms used in last 3 years of economic survey. Fine. So you don't have to bother for that particular aspect. I'll give the terms, and wherever I would say that there is a need of also giving the definition, I will also insert a definition there itself. So usse kya hoga ki you will be acquainted with those terms and terminologies. For example, let me tell you, I mean, interest coverage ratio, ICR. Interest coverage ratio has been asked in this year's prelims question. Fine. Now, I don't know how many of you were aware of this ICR or not, but this ICR has been very nicely explained in the economic survey of 2017-18. Fine. And for the first time, even I have heard about this ICR from economic survey 17-18 only. So that is the point you have to understand. Economic survey, the term that they use those terms which are in the domain of scholarly debates and discussions in the government of India, within the government of India. Fine. So surveys, terms and terminology, I'll give you the list of that. You prepare from that only. That's what you have to do. Now coming to this issue of the economy aspect. So you have to prepare current affairs thoroughly of last couple of years on economy as well. And similar style you have to apply. If the words are mentioned in economy, let's say the upstream linkages, downstream linkages, supply chain management. So you should be having clear-cut understanding about what do you mean by downstream linkage? What do you mean by upstream linkage? How does it help in food processing industries? What is supply chain management? What is supply chain resilient initiative started by Japan, India, Australia? All right, because this question can be asked you in GS paper 3 now this year. They will ask you a question that how the supply chain management is facing a crisis after China is being boycotted by major countries of the world, including India. How the proposal of Japan in the context of supply chain resilient initiative is going to overcome the challenges of supply chain in the world. अब ये क्वेश्चन आ जाएगा. अब क्या है कि इसमें दोनों से समझना होगा. You have to understand what do you mean by supply chain management, and you have to also relate it with the current affairs. तो ये क्वेश्चन बनने के चांसेस पूरे हैं इस बार मेंस के लिए. ठीक है. So that is what you have to prepare as far as the economy is concerned. Fine. Similarly, same approach you have to apply for your internal security and also for environment and science and technology. So in science and technology, again, they have asked you some very typical questions. Very typical questions, and if you have, I mean, even if you have an idea, or you have been thought of with the science and technological developments, I personally believe that many of you must have had a tough time in solving the questions of science and technology in this year's prelims. All right, because it was not so simple. It was not so simple. Even for a scientist, they must be having some tough time to solve those questions. All right. So the point is very simple. Science and tech has always been elusive. The more you try to catch, the more it will run away from you. So what you have to do, you have to make a strategy that at least those common terms and terminologies, I should be well aware of that. If you ask me on artificial intelligence, its role in agriculture, its role in industries, its role in health, its role in education, its role in defense, I have enough idea. I can write at least 20-30 words on each of these aspects. All right. I should know what is blockchain technology. I should know what is Internet of Things. I should know what is Industry 4.0 revolution. Now, these are the terms which are doing our surrounding. So I should have fair idea about it. अब मुझे पता नहीं कि कौन वैक्सीन बना है, कौन निमोकोकल वैक्सीन बन गया है. I have no idea about it. So I should not be bothered about that. क्योंकि ऐसे क्वेश्चंस आएंगे ही आएंगे. वो शायद डॉक्टर्स भी सॉल्व ना कर पाए. All right. So for that, I should not be bothered about that. But I should be bothered about that if I am unable to solve the questions of biotechnology. If I am unable to solve the questions of artificial intelligence or blockchain technology, तो वहां पे तो भाई प्रॉब्लम है, क्योंकि वो मुझे पता होना चाहिए था. Because they are very popular terms, and I should not get a sort of a, you can say, excuse that okay, I was not knowing about it. ठीक है, excuse वहां चलेगा जो बहुत ही स्पेसिफिक था. वहां पॉसिबल है. वहां इनफैक्ट 99% लोग नहीं लिखते हैं. 1% जो होते हैं उसी स्ट्रीम से, जो पीएचडी करते होते हैं उसी फील्ड में, उनको पता होता है थोड़ा बहुत. अदरवाइज मैक्सिमम लोगों को पता नहीं होता उसके बारे में. बाद में पता हो जाए अलग बात है, नेट से खोज के बता देंगे क्या आंसर होगा, लेकिन उस समय एटलीस्ट आइडिया नहीं होता एग्जैक्टली. ठीक है. So that's what actually you have to understand. For science and tech also, what you have to do, prepare science and tech throughout the syllabus. And let me tell you, since they have mentioned about the words very specifically in the syllabus, उन्होंने साफ मेंशन किया हुआ है कि रोल ऑफ इंडियन साइंटिस्ट. आप देखेंगे सिलेबस में लिखा हुआ है रोल ऑफ इंडियन साइंटिस्ट. और पूछा क्या 2019 में क्वेश्चन उन्होंने कि एम विश्वेश्वरैया एंड फादर ऑफ ग्रीन रेवोल्यूशन स्वामीनाथन, how did they contribute in the irrigation and the green revolutions in India, or agriculture revolution in India? All right. So this was the question asked in 2019 main examination. अब ये कहां से पूछ दिया? लिखा हुआ है साफ कि role of scientist in India. So that's what you have to prepare also that aspect. Fine. हाँ, Sirath, yes, go ahead.
Yes, sir, that is a specific syllabus. हर साल इससे questions आता है. Even in 2018 there was a question on contributions of Indians in science and technology.
Correct.
So ये वाला चीज़ sir, there is a list of scientists and these scientists have contributed in their own way. ये हर साल एक scientist को पूछे जाते हैं.
Actually, bilkul, that's absolutely right analysis.
Yes, sir.
So exactly the same way you have to also prepare. And of course, if you don't have the list, Chiran sir will provide you the list also. So don't worry about it. We'll provide the list also for all of you. So you can prepare that particular list also, so that you have a fair idea about at least Indian scientists and their contribution, because they have already asked about Bose-Einstein theory, isn't it, last time? So exactly you have to understand, because these have become quite popular questions of UPSC these days. So you cannot take a chance over that. Fine. So probably they might ask you about Hargobind Khorana this time. So that's what actually is the point. You have to learn about this all role of scientists and their contributions in Indian economy in that way, for in society also. So this is what you have to prepare as far as this particular segment is concerned. Similarly, as far as internal security and environment is concerned, again you see the questions are also asked from the current affairs largely. All right. Now this year, of course, they have asked you one small question in the context of Talanoa dialogue. All right, in a match of the following. Fine. So it was an issue of 2018 only. 18 में ये issue था ये. 18 में था, 19 में नहीं पूछा, लेकिन 20 में पूछ दिया. Alright, so 19 के prelims में they didn't ask you about Talanoa dialogue, but they asked you in 2020 prelims just to check whether you remember about this dialogue process or not on climate, on global climate issue. So understand, last 18 questions, 18 issues are also important in prelims. So obviously they are also going to be important for your main examination. So prepare that aspect very clearly.
Sir, I would like to add one thing.
Yes,
कि
sir.
हमारा जो टेस्ट सीरीज था सर, उसमें there was a question about this. Talanoa dialogue is related to which of the following? Climate change, ozone depletion. तो हमने 4 ऑप्शन दिए थे, and this was a question in our test series.
बिल्कुल. I also remember that I asked them a question in the context of Astana Declaration.
Yes, sir.
In the very first current affairs test, there was a question of Astana Declaration where I explained this issue very elaborately, and I mentioned clearly in my discussion about Alma Ata conference. That was the first conference in 1978, which was convened on the issue of primary health services issue. Alma Ata मैंने discuss किया था उसमें.
So that's why during the exam I was thinking, where have I heard this? And that's why my question was correct.
And your question was correct. So that is the benefit of attending the discussion. I mean, had you been not attending the discussion, or you missed out a discussion, then probably despite attending the test series of ours, you would have missed this question completely. But since you attempted the test, you also attended the discussion, it benefited you at least by one question. And that is exactly preparation all about. You have to add one more bits, and then finally you can build the entire house. That's what actually is all about. So एक marks जोड़ के ही finally आप IAS बनते हैं. Fine. So this is what actually is the significance of not only attending a test series, but also attending the discussion very sincerely. क्योंकि होता क्या है कि वो consciously unconscious mind में वो बैठ जाता है. And then finally that plays a very important role in recalling the episode, recalling those issues, and then writing an answer also in the examination. I still remember Abhilash Mishra was one of my students in 2016 mains test series. He secured rank 5. Fine. In that particular discussion, I had an elaborate discussion over the issue of health and education because of the nature of question that I've asked at that particular point of time. He told me that he could not read anything on health and education because of paucity of time. Whatever I discuss in the class, that played a very significant role for him in terms of recalling the entire story and writing the entire episode of health, and also the issue was asked in the context of disability. So that also I explained. So he only recalled that class discussion, and on that basis he wrote the entire answer very nicely. So that is the importance of attending a discussion, which these days people have almost forgotten about it. Now they believe in having ready-made material from XYZ coaching, कि सब कुछ printed form में आ जाए, PDF form में आ जाए, मैं सो के जग के रात को बाथरूम में बैठ के कहीं भी उसको पढ़ लूंगा. All right. So that is what something people are now becoming very fond of. All right. But till 2013-14, I would say people used to attend discussion with same sort of sincerity. Same sort of you can say, I mean, eagerness to know something new, to know something more in the discussions. All right. And it actually plays a very important role. शुरू में लगता है कि 2-3 घंटा क्या फालतू में बर्बाद हो रहा है, लेकिन ऐसा होता नहीं है. It actually becomes a very solid information, solid repertoire of information for all of you. वो information पता नहीं आप कब use करेंगे. You don't know. That information might be used during time of your mains, or maybe used also during time of your interview. All right. That is the process of learning, a process of learning in this particular examination, that is civil service examination.
Because usually for 1 or 2 hours of class, we'll
Yes.
prepare for 3 to 4 hours. But for 2 hours of question paper discussion, we have to prepare for almost 8 to 9 hours. That much of input we have to collect from in and around one
Yes,
question.
yes, yes, yes. You are absolutely
So
right. I
take
remember.
advantage of that.
I remember. I mean, entire whole night I never used to sleep when I used to have discussions during the time of my synergy days. All right, because I mean, preparing, let's say 10, 12 questions thoroughly was not so simple task. I mean, I can tell you that there was not a single newspaper and single article that I was not able to, or I was not able to read out to take up a discussion of those particular issues. So that is the importance of discussion and how we prepare for discussion also. So leaving that particular part aside, let's discuss the other papers. In fact, so see, GS paper 4, that is an ethics. Now, ethics is that paper where you have to prepare the syllabus word by word and see the questions of last, let's say 3 to 4 years. You will realize that ethics is all about what you have prepared through the syllabus word by word. Word by word syllabus preparation simply means that you have gone through the terms and terminologies clearly. You have a fair idea about those definitions, and all those definitions and the words, you also have generated some illustrations for that to explain it through some illustrative manner before the examiner. So illustrations matter a lot to score very handsome marks in paper of ethics. Only running material will not give you very handsome marks in ethics. Running material will only give you a scope of attempting the entire paper, but you cannot be sure whether you have written the entire paper with, of course, with the purpose of scoring very handsome marks or not. So always ensure that you have prepared the entire syllabus word by word. That's one thing. And while preparing the syllabus by word, remember at least 3 illustrations you have to think in your mind and to write it down also then in the syllabus or nearby syllabus itself. सिलेबस में क्या करना है, मैं आपको एग्जांपल देता हूं, करना किस आसान तरीका है. आप क्या कीजिए, एथिक्स का सिलेबस को आप 6-7 प्रिंट आउट में निकाल लीजिए. मैं आपको बताता हूं कैसे इसको करना है हैंडल. What you do, take out the entire syllabus of ethics in 6 to 7 printouts. One segment, complete one printout. One segment means, let's say, one chapter, one printout. Second chapter, second printout. Third chapter, third. So suppose there are 10 chapters like this, it is given there in the syllabus. 10 प्रिंटआउट निकल जाएंगे. ठीक है, अब करना क्या है, उस 10 प्रिंटआउट में जितने वर्ड्स मेंशन किए गए हैं उस सारे वर्ड्स के ऊपर डेफिनेशन क्या होगा. हाउ डू यू डिफाइन दैट पर्टिकुलर वर्ड क्लियरली. ठीक है, डेफिनेशन एक जो सिंपल डेफिनेशन है वो याद रखना है, और उसके डेफिनेशन के ऊपर कोई स्कॉलर्स ने कुछ कहा है. इफ एनी स्कॉलर हैज सेड समथिंग ऑन दैट, मेंशन देयर ओनली कि इसमें लिखना है स्कॉलर एक्स का नाम, इसमें लिखना है स्वामी विवेकानंद का नाम, इसमें लिखना है महात्मा गांधी का नाम. ये सब मेंटली प्रिपेयर रखो कि वहां लिखा होना चाहिए शॉर्ट फॉर्म में. और जब आपने लिख दिया तो उसमें 3 और लिखने क्या, इसके 3 इलस्ट्रेशंस. फर्स्ट, कि ये कॉन्सेप्ट अगर मैं गांव के पर्सपेक्टिव से सोचूं कि मैं गांव वाला बन जाता हूं आज, तो मेरे लिए हैप्पीनेस क्या है गांव में. व्हाट इज हैप्पीनेस फॉर मी इन माय विलेज. हाउ डू विलेजर्स एंजॉय हैप्पीनेस, और हाउ डू दे रिमेन हैप्पी. What exactly have you seen, and what exactly is your interpretation about happiness for a villager who is living in a village? वो कब खुश होता है? So perhaps he might become happy when he finds rainfall or proper monsoon taking place. ठीक है, उसके लिए वो ही happiness है. Fine. Similarly, see, this is the first illustration you have to explain about the happiness. Second illustration would be in the context of a person who is living in an urban area. In urban area, what would be the happiness? So in an urban area, the happiness would be that a person is properly employed and getting the proper services for his children or his near and dear ones. He is getting proper education, proper health, that is happiness for him. Similarly, happiness from UN perspective. What is happiness for UNO? When UNO would become happy? UNO would become happy when the world will achieve peace and tranquility, peace and order across all the parts of the world. That is the purpose of UNO. This is happiness. So idea is 3 illustration formula you have to remember. for every segment. ठीक है? This is all application of your mind, application of your wisdom basically. Fine. So this is what you have to do in your entire syllabus. तो उसमें लिख लेना है ये तीन पॉइंट सब में कि ये हैप्पीनेस में होगा, ये इसमें होगा, ये एथिक्स, ये कोड ऑफ कंडक्ट में होगा. Alright, ये सिटीजन चार्टर में होगा. This is what actually is mentioned in the syllabus also. Fine. So this is what you have to prepare as far as ethics is concerned. Now you don't have time to read any book specifically in the context of covering the entire syllabus. अगर ethics cover नहीं है, उसके लिए मैं suggest कर रहा हूँ, if you don't have ethics covered thoroughly, you get any coaching's class notes, not the printed notes, class notes. Any coaching's class notes to prepare ethics in one go. Read out the entire class notes in, let's say, 6 to 7 days at maximum time. After reading out the class notes, simply find out which all segments of your syllabus have not been discussed in that class notes. Those segments which have not been discussed in the class notes, underline that and then refer any book where it is mentioned. Any book where it is mentioned. कहीं भी बहुत सारे books हैं, मेरे पास पढ़े हुए हैं, 3 authors के book है, बहुत सारे books हैं, ठीक है? तो कहीं से भी वो जो वर्ड्स मेंशन नहीं हुए हैं क्लास नोट्स में, उसके ऊपर इंफॉर्मेशन चाहिए आपको, पूरा डिटेल नहीं चाहिए आपको फिर दोबारा. सो कलेक्ट दोस इंफॉर्मेशंस एंड अटैच दोस इंफॉर्मेशंस विद योर क्लास नोट्स. दैट्स इट. एथिक्स इज फुल्ली प्रिपेयर्ड. उसके बाद दिमाग लगाना है एथिक्स में, बाकी कुछ नहीं करना है. उसके बाद व्हाटएवर यू आर स्टडीइंग फ्रॉम करंट अफेयर्स, यू हैव टू रिलेट दोस एग्जांपल्स एज इलस्ट्रेशंस इन एथिक्स पेपर. ऑलराइट, तो वो एग्जांपल्स आपको इलस्ट्रेशंस के रूप में डालना है एथिक्स के पेपर में. अब सपोज कि देयर इज अ इशू ऑन सोशल मीडिया, so obviously you have to write out their negatives, there are also positives. So same example that a Baba ka dhaba in Malviya Nagar in Delhi has become popular in last 2 days, that is a perfect case of explaining the role of social media to bring happiness in anyone's life. That can be asked as a question to all of you. So write this as an illustration, as an example there in the answers also. Fine. So this is how you have to use those current affairs informations to bring out, of course, more and more, you can say, I mean, liveliness in your answers, in writing answers of ethics. So question can be asked to you, how can you ensure ethics and morality among children through making them watch the epics? Making them watch epics. अब कोरोना के समय में रामायण दिखाया गया है ना. बहुत लोगों ने देखा, बहुत लोगों ने नहीं देखा. My point is, purpose is not what was shown. Purpose is from ethical point of view, how can I see this particular serial of Ramayana? I can see the serial of Ramayana, that how can it bring ethical and moral dimensions in our new generation. The new generation which have forgotten everything of Ramayana, they only remember about Ram and Ravan because of Dasara. So obviously they need to also know there are many other aspects of Ramayana. All right. So question can be asked to you very simple, that how can you inculcate ethics and morality among the children and young generation by showing them epics serials, or by epic episodes, or by mythology also. So this can be a perfect question that can be asked to you in ethics paper. All right. अब ये हुआ है पिछले 4 महीने पहले हमारे कंट्री में, उसमें डिबेट था. So obviously this can be also asked as a question in ethics. So this is what you have to understand your current domain, and you have to apply in also in your ethics paper. ठीक है? And this is the only way to score very handsome marks in ethics. Rest will depend upon your presentation. Presentation matters a lot in ethics. Let me tell you, one of my students, he has scored highest marks in ethics. Highest marks in ethics, perhaps, I don't know whether it has been broken down or not by anyone else. He scored 148. Bashirul Haq, rank 46. He is right now the DC of Kargil. In 2014, he got into IAS. Now see, he prepared ethics not the way we all know that someone has to read this book or that book. He has read nothing in ethics as far as book is concerned. Book पढ़ा ही नहीं है. मैं आपको उसका एग्जांपल थोड़ा समझा देता हूँ. He was already selected in 2013 as a post of SDM in J&K PCS. He was serving in Anantnag, which is a remote area which is having a difficult terrain in Jammu and Kashmir. And since there only he prepared the entire syllabus of GS for UPSC, and finally he wrote the examination from there itself. So idea is he didn't have any access of books. What he used to do, he used to come down to, of course, Srinagar once in a while, and he used to collect those information through internet. But he was in direct contact with me during those days. So he used to collect those information from internet. That is what is the meaning of code of conduct. Took a printout. What is the meaning of accountability? He took a printout. What is the meaning of transparency? He took a printout. So he collected the printouts, and then he took away those printouts back to his own place of Anantnag. And there only he prepared the entire syllabus in terms of definitions. And then afterwards, I suggested him only this formula, 3 illustration formula of every issue. He was smart enough in terms of understanding that point very clearly, and then he did it in a similar way, and he secured highest marks in India at that point of time, in that year. And he called up me to congratulate on this issue only, that he had no idea that how to score marks in ethics. All right, he was completely confused. But on my advice, he worked, and finally he became the highest scorer in India on ethics. So this is the reason why he also secured rank 46 and finally got into IAS. So the point is that one paper can make you into IAS, can also disqualify you from this entire service. That's the reason why you have to do justice with every paper. So in GS paper 4 also, you have to apply the same sense. All right. Prepare the syllabus word by word. Prepare the 3 illustrations for every word. ठीक है, इतना काम कर लेना है, करंट अफेयर्स को पढ़ के रखना है अच्छे से, और जहां जहां भी यू कैन यूज दैट, बस यूज दैट. देखो, आउटराइटली आपके साथ कोई ऐसा कोई, देयर विल नॉट बी एनी एक्सपीरियंस लाइक ऑल ऑफ अ सडन यू विल गेट द यू कैन से एनलाइटनमेंट व्हाइल राइटिंग एन आंसर, एंड यू विल रियलाइज कि हाँ ये लिखते हैं, इलस्ट्रेशन लिख देते हैं. ऐसा होता नहीं है. व्हाट यू हैव टू डू, जो मैंने एग्जांपल बताया कि आपको पेपर, आपके सिलेबस का प्रिंट आउट निकालना है अलग अलग, और उसी प्रिंट आउट पे लिख लेना है कि व्हाट आर 3 illustrations ऑफ दिस इशू, 1 this, 2nd this, 3rd this, so that when you go for your examination, on the day of your examination also, you must be having that much of time, which you get always a gap of even 1.5 hours sufficient to revise those points only from the syllabus. कि अगर ये क्वेश्चन आएगा तो ये 3 illustration मुझे याद रखना है, इसको लिखना है आंसर्स में फटाफट. Fine. So this is what you have to do as far as your answer writing is concerned. And then the case studies comes, where I'll tell you exactly what to do in the case studies and how to approach those case studies also. Fine. So that is how you have to approach this all 4 papers of GS. Fine. If you have not done any writing part in the past, then you can go for writing also. So in the writing aspect, let me share with all of you the syllabus, or in fact the wait, I can show you. I'm opening the file, and this is a file of the test series, in fact, the GS mains test series, where I have clearly defined exactly what all things are going to be asked and how those things would be. Now it is a heavy file, I believe, so it's taking time.
Amit sir, no. Amit sir, you have to stop this sharing screen. And okay. Again, जो आपने फाइल ओपन की है, आपको सिर्फ उसको ही शेयर करना है, तभी ओपन होगी. Means we can able to see.
Are you able to see it?
No. Right now we are able to see just your folder you had opened, but आपको अपना वो शेयर करना है. Means after opening this thing, आप जब अपना स्क्रीन शेयर पे जाएंगे, तो इस फाइल को आप शेयर कर पाएंगे.
अभी शेयर नहीं हो पा रहा है, अभी it's not being shared.
Now we are able to see your desktop and the list of files. उतना ही sir.
Okay.
Sir, just close it. I will help you out.
Okay.
I think that PDF file is open on your desktop.
Let me see. I'm unable to minimize. It's written that you cannot minimize Zoom when you're recording this meeting.
Sir,
no problem. No problem. Just move. आपकी PDF file open हो गई होगी. नीचे option दिख रहा होगा आपको. Icon दिख रहा होगा.
Just a moment. हाँ, it's now opened. हाँ.
Now move on to share screen. Click on it.
Just a moment. हाँ. Yes, share screen.
Now उसमें आपकी वो PDF file आ रही होगी.
Is it visible now?
Yes, now it's visible.
Yes, sir. Visible.
Visible, no?
Yes.
So
Sir.
let me now be specific to the test series, and this is the idea of test series. You can see all of you can see this test series point. Say this is the first file where I mentioned very clearly in the GS Men's test series there would be 13 advanced tests. The 13 advanced tests would be those tests where we will be completely involved in every stage. In fact, a stage like paper making to answer making to paper evaluation, and also discussion by all of us. Paper evaluation will also be done by all of us only. In certain cases, we will find that certain problems are there with the student. We will have the paper evaluation also face to face through this Zoom application only. Fine, that is the point. So you should have a complete transparency in paper evaluation also. You should know about that who all are evaluating the paper and who all guys are involved in the paper evaluation, because normally this is always hidden everywhere, in fact. All right, so that's the point. Then there will be 2 essay tests also. We are starting with the essay test only on 12th of October, as I mentioned with the my initial statement itself. So there will be 2 essay tests also with that, and then there will be 8 basic men's test also. What is this 8 basic men's test? See, this 8 basic men's test is self-practice test. It is a self-practice test for those guys, for those students who actually have some serious issue in terms of writing an answer, or they want to have some more practice, in fact. So for those guys, we will also send them the 8 basic men's tests along with the answer key. Fine. Now, in this particular self-practice test, there will be some evaluation on the special need of that particular student. Let me tell you, once we have evaluated your test of advanced paper, and there I have found personally that some of you is having or maybe having a problem in, let's take an example, in economy. Fine. So what I will suggest you that whatever test I have supplied to you, that is a self-practice test, you find out a test on economy out of that, write some of the answers of economy other than whatever you have written in advanced test. Now those questions of economy will be evaluated personally again by me, just to see whether you have improved there or not. All right. So there will be a chance also of self-correction or self-improvement in this test altogether. Therefore, there will be 23 test support to all of you. In 13 advanced tests, there will be a support at every level. In the 8 basic men's tests, there will be support only in a specific needs of a particular candidate. Fine. That is the point. Essay test, of course, we will only be conducting it. We'll only be asking you the papers also. That is going to be the 23 tests in totality in this GS Men's test series. All right. Then this is something. These are the achievements of past years, the students that who have joined us in test series, all those things. So this is a syllabus that we are also providing to all of you. You can see on your screen now. Now see what I have done. This classification of syllabus was done by me only when we were there in Synergy. All right. I remember I took around more than 5 to 6 hours to actually read out the entire syllabus and to segregate those syllabus according to the subject wise. In fact, this syllabus is not done by UPSC. This classification syllabus is not done by UPSC. If you see the syllabus of UPSC, they have only mentioned about what is mentioned there in paper 1, 2, and 3, and 4. And then accordingly, these all words are mentioned. But inside the syllabus, there is a classification of ABC in every segment. It was done by me only. All right. Then it was used by many other institutes also. I mean, copied by me, copied from me only. All right, you all know that is a collateral damage in this field, but that goes on. So idea is, this is what you have to remember. This is how we have classified the syllabus. See, in paper one, the syllabus is classified like history is segregated, social issues segregated, and geography is segregated altogether. Similarly, in paper two, you have polity, governance together altogether, then social justice, and then IR part separately. Then paper three, you have economic development, science and technology, including, of course, environmental issues. And then you have also security issues separately. Fine. Then in ethics also, you have the three segments, that is ethics and integrity, then interpersonal skills, and then the contribution of moral thinkers and philosophers from India and out in the world. So three segments also there in the ethics segment. And exactly on this basis, only tests will be conducted. See now the test papers or test internet plan. These are few observations that we have observed in last more than 10, 12 years of experience of conducting this men's test series. I have been involved in this test series since 2007 itself, 7-8 itself, when my elder brother used to conduct the test series under the Expert Brains brand. And at that point of time, I was also preparing and also checking some of the answers, which also helped me in understanding how to write the better answer. Fine. So that is the experience that we have gained in our test series. So see, these are some words that you have to go through. It's very important observations made by me and others also, in fact, in terms of how to write an answers in mains. That is given there very clearly. But regarding answer writing, it's also given what you have to do in answer writing in these all instructions. Then come to this plan. Now, this is the plan which we were discussing about. See, our very first test is going to be on 12th of October, and the test timing is 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. शाम को होगा, ठीक है? और टेस्ट कैसे होगा उस पे निखिल सर थोड़ा बताएंगे अभी आपको. निखिल sir is also there, so he is technically very sound in that all aspects. So he will let you know exactly how we'll be conducting this test. I mean, let me give him that opportunity. But first of all, let me explain this particular plan, and then I'll hand over this mic to Nikhil sir to explain you how it is going to be conducted. So they see the first test, in fact, of GS is going to be on 18th of October, and then also on 24th of October. But 24th of October test will be also the date on which we will be conducting a discussion of your test. Therefore, it is always advisable to write your test in the very first on the very first date, so that we get some time to evaluate your paper and then come up with the discussion properly. Otherwise, if you write on 24th of October, then for sure we will not be able to evaluate your paper, and we will not be able to also give you a comment on the same very same day, in fact. So it is preferable that you write the test always on the first date, but the second date is only given in some you can say extreme circumstance, some unavoidable circumstance. All right. So on second day, that is the date also of discussion. We will also have a discussion also on the 24th of October in that way. All right. So that is the date and the discussion date also. So who all will be taking discussion? The name of the faculty is also given there. Then you have test 2, that is on GS paper 1, that is history and art and culture only. Fine. Same thing is given there. Then you have geography test also, that is just a test 3, GS from GS paper 1 from Nikhil Sarin sir. He will be conducting this entire session. Then you have polity and governance also, test 4, all right, on this particular date. So all these dates are important. So what करना क्या है कि आपको मैंने ये भेज दिया है PDF फाइल, प्रिंट आउट निकाल के अपने दीवार पे चिपका लेना है ये डेट्स, ताकि आपको पता रहे कि कौन डेट को कौन सा टेस्ट है और किसके लिए आपको पढ़ना है अभी. All right, that is the point basically. So this is what actually will be the test on GS paper 2 also. So one thing I have done, that I have given 3 tests for GS paper 1. It is all because the GS paper 1 actually consists of 3 major subjects. Social issues, geography, history अपने आप में बहुत बड़ा सब्जेक्ट है, इसलिए उसके लिए हमने 3 पेपर्स दिए हैं. पेपर GS paper 2 के लिए 2 पेपर्स ही दिए हैं sectional, in fact, initially. Now you can see here on your screen, test 5 is again on GS paper 2. Syllabus is also mentioned there. Governance, social justice, and international relations by Kanish Sikar sir. So it will be conducted on 21st of November, and 22nd November again will be having second test of essay. So essay paper 2 will be also conducted on 22nd of November. Then discussion is going to be 28th of November in that way. Then you have GS paper 3 test on test number 6 on Indian economy by me only. Then you have test 7, GS paper 3, internal security, science and tech, environment, Kanish Sekhar sir and Chirant Rajsekhar sir is also there. So both of them will be taking up their respective areas. Then you have ethics, integrity. All right. So that will be also done by me and Kanish Sekhar sir. So this is how paper 9 sectional test will be conducted. And the last 4 tests will be on the same date. That is 22nd December, you will be having GS paper 1 and 2, first half, second half. Then on 24th of December, you will be having GS paper 1 and 2, first half, second half. 24th December is going to be your last date of writing the test. After that, you don't have to write any test. Because after that, you have only effectively in your hand, only 12 to 13 days. Fine. उसके बाद आपका मेंस यूपीएससी का लिखना पड़ेगा. तो 12-13 दिन आपको सिर्फ रिवाइज करना है, कुछ लिखना पढ़ना नहीं है उस समय. ठीक है? That is the point. And our task is to complete your evaluation of your entire model test by 30th of December 2020, and we will intimate you exactly what is your performance and what is all your strength and where you can try to cover your weak areas. All right, that's what actually will be done on 30th of December 2020. Fine. Subham, you want to say something? बोलिए.
Yes, I want to ask you from where I could access these term and terminology regarding economic survey. What you have said that you
I will be sharing with all of you. All right, we will be making a group, in fact, WhatsApp group also, and there I will be sharing with all of you the entire list of that. All right, and it will also be shared on our website. So website is almost done. So probably by today is Friday. By Sunday night it will be operational. All right. Okay. So on website also we'll upload it. You can also get it from website. Okay.
Okay. Can I have your number, please, sir?
It is given there. I mean, in every piece of this particular slide, number is given there. 9911.
9911.
11156
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Welcome. All right. So that is the point. So this is how the test will be conducted. In fact. Fine. These are some testimonials of the students, in fact, who have cracked the IS exam with my support in terms of helping them in the writing mains. These are some pictures which my DTP operator has asked me to give, so to make it more beautiful in that way. So now our TESIS mentors are here. All right. So we are 5 people in this entire TESIS program. Me, Nidhi Mishra ma'am, Rajsekhar sir is still here. Nikhil Sarin sir is still there. All right. Then also Kanish Sekhar sir will be also joining us. All right. So these all 5 people will be there in this entire test series. Fine. That's what actually will be the test series program. Fine. So fees is already mentioned there. This is how the test will be conducted. Now that's what actually was the point. Now coming back to the test plan again. Now see. Now this test plan, you have to understand what to be read here for every subject. See, for essay, as some of you had asked me that essay, how to prepare essay because you don't have any content. See, the very first test we are conducting on essay just because of testing your knowledge, in fact. When you don't have any content, how do you express yourself? Because I remember in my college days in Delhi University, we used to have extempore writing practice also, extempore debate also. Fine. So we were given a chit of any extempore topic, and then we were asked to go on the podium and to debate upon that particular issue for let's say another 20-25 minutes. That is called extempore. So extempore is something that you have to learn also in cracking the civil service examination. Because everything you cannot read. That's what you have to keep in mind always. And let me tell you, even you secure a rank 1, it does not mean that you are able to, or rather you are knowing about all the 20 questions of every paper. It is all about how did you apply yourself at that moment in terms of writing an answer with moderate information in some of the questions where you have no information at all. All right. How did you manage those answers? That is what would make you to qualify this examination. Fine. And there will be always a time, let me tell you, कभी ऐसा नहीं होता है कि आप प्रिपेयर करके जाएंगे और आप सब के सब क्वेश्चन सही करके आएंगे, ऐसा कभी नहीं होता है और कभी होगा भी नहीं। अगर वो हो ही जाएगा तो फिर why will be UPSC conducting this exam? All right, so you have to understand it will never happen. But what will happen, out of 20, at least 15, 16 you must be knowing, and you should know in fact. So if you know 15, 16 questions properly, and then the last 4 to 5 questions you have to manage, now that ability you have to develop. That ability you have to, let me tell you, I mean, those who have no idea about this examination, or rather who also do not get the proper guidance, what do they do? Let me tell you what do they do. They write the exam, they go to the examination hall, out of 20 questions, they write 10 questions nicely. At the max 2, 3 more questions they manage, and rest 5, 6 questions they leave completely, and they come. ये नहीं करना है आपको, छोड़ना नहीं है, भले ही क्वेश्चन कुछ भी हो, you have to write something on that. Because let me tell you, if you're writing a paper of GS2, even if you have no idea about those issues, you must be remembering the syllabus word by word. क्योंकि उस वर्ड से ही आप उस इशू को, जिसके बारे में इंफॉर्मेशन शायद ना हो, फिर भी आप उस वर्ड पे पकड़ के कुछ ना कुछ कहानी लिख सकते हैं.
Sir, I would like to add something, for the students.
Sure.
See, usually people leave the question क्योंकि वो सोचते कि मुझे नहीं आता है.
Right.
So there is some particular pattern which the UPSC sees.
Right.
हर क्वेश्चन में सबसे पहले उसका बॉडी की इंट्रोडक्शन होना चाहिए, मिडिल में एक उसका कंटेंट्स होना चाहिए, प्री कंक्लूजन एंड रिकमेंडेशन, ये पूरा स्टेप्स है. वो स्टेप्स हर क्वेश्चन में आना चाहिए. एंड एवरी क्वेश्चन शुड हैव अ डायग्राम, छोटा सा बड़ा सा कुछ भी, आप उसके रिलेटेड को भी ट्री डायग्राम बना दो या फिर ऐसे पिक्टोरियल रिप्रेजेंटेशन कर दो एंड ऑल दोज थिंग्स. तो वो बेसिक चीजें, आप चाहे वो एसे हो या फिर कोई आंसर हो, ये बॉडी आपको पता चल जाएगा. तो दे विल बी अलोकेटिंग मार्क्स कि वेदर द आंसर इज इन द प्रॉपर फ्लो. Second thing, they'll be seeing whether there is any proper data, particular information about the statistics, वो सब देखते हैं. तीसरा, the choice of the words, are you using proper words, is there any grammatical, बहुत सारा hodge podge है, वो सब चीजें देखते हैं. So every segment of the answers they will be allotting the marks, और वो लिख के आप perfection की तरफ आ जाते हो. Every time you write, we are going to point out कि आपके आंसर में ये दिक्कत था. This Correct. Is why we have penalized you. Correct. So after writing so many answers of so many test series, finally you will come to a stage after the test series कि आप एग्जाम में लाके वो गलती नहीं करोगे.
Right.
Maybe you might forget the content. आपको पता नहीं कि वो आप कहीं पढ़े हो नहीं पढ़े हो, पर बाकी चीजें ठीक हो गए ना, कुछ तो मार्क्स मिलेगा. You will definitely get some marks.
That is exactly the benefit of the test papers. In fact, test series.
Exactly. Yes, sir.
So this is what you have to learn through the test series. All right. So we'll develop that learning ability. Don't worry. I mean, I deliberately will ask you certain questions where you have no idea. Let me tell you one thing. All right. So that will be there. But of course, I would seek your response on that, your understanding on that. Whatever your response, your understanding comes, that is going to be evaluated and examined by me. All right. So don't worry. I will make you, learn also this ability to how to express those answers where you have no idea at all, but still you have to develop a complete answer, maybe of let's say 200 words or maybe 150 words. Now, having said that, let me tell you one more thing. As I wanted to tell you, see, what is the benefit of this test series or any test series? In fact, the very basic benefit is that you learn to write the entire paper. That is a very basic advantage of writing a test papers or testing test series. Because theoretically, I'm telling you, if you calculate scientifically that how many words are you supposed to write in 3 hours of paper of GS, it is 4,000 words. Because the first 10 questions they ask you of 150 words, having 10 marks each. And the last 10 questions they ask you having 250 words, having 15 marks each. So in totality, they ask you 4,000 words to be written, in 3 hours. So 4,000 words in 3 hours is not so simple. आज भी बैठ के आज आप कोई भी एक टॉपिक उठा के 4,000 वर्ड्स लिख के देखना कितना घंटे लगते हैं आपको लिखने में. All right, you will take more than 4.5 hours. 3 घंटे में इम्पॉसिबल है, नहीं लिख पाओगे आप अगर राइटिंग आपकी बहुत आपने की नहीं है तो. All right, but if you are very clear in your language and expression and you are thorough also in writing part, which is these days which is difficult, especially difficult for the software engineers because they're more practice, they have done more practice on system than on writing. All right, तो उनकी उंगलियां ज्यादा चलती है लेकिन उनके मेटाकार्पल्स ज्यादा धीरे चलते हैं. ठीक है. So that is one thing that is always a problem for these days IAS aspirants. हमारे डेज में दिक्कत नहीं था, हमारे में सब के सब जो है लिखने वाले होते थे बहुत लंबे लंबे. ठीक है, तो इट वाज वेरी मच पॉसिबल. आज के डेट में दिस इज अ प्रॉब्लम नाउ. So you have to do this practice, writing 4,000 words in 3 hours. That too 3 hours, you don't get 3 hours effectively. यहाँ तो टेस्ट में you can get this 3 hours easily, but there in the examination hall, there are so many do's and don'ts that the invigilator will tell you that in that way only you will be wasting 15-20 minutes time in every paper. 10-15-20 मिनट उसी में बर्बाद हो जाते हैं. कभी चेक करवाएंगे, कभी साइन करवाएंगे, कभी बोलेंगे सुनिए ये नहीं करना है, वो नहीं करना है, यहाँ ही करना है, वो कर. सो ऑफ कोर्स जब लास्ट के तीसरे आवर्स में आप एंटर करेंगे तो दे विल आल्सो मेक यू हाईली इन अ पैनिक मोड. पैनिक मोड की टाइम खत्म हो रहा है, 10 मिनट बचा है, कॉपी सबमिट करना है. नाउ यू विल बी इन पैनिक मोड. अब 2 क्वेश्चन लिखना बाकी है, 10 मिनट बचा हुआ है, लिखाएगा नहीं, उंगली नहीं भागेगा आगे. यू विल नॉट बी एबल टू इवन स्क्राइब समथिंग ऑन दैट क्योंकि आप नर्वस हो चुके. नाउ यू हैव बिकम नर्वस. क्लास 10 मिनट्स में 2 क्वेश्चन छूट रहे हैं, कैसे लिखेंगे? लेट मी टेल यू वन थिंग, ऐसा सिचुएशन आएगा. मैं इसलिए इसको विजुअलाइज करवा रहा हूं आप लोगों को कि ऐसा सिचुएशन पक्का आएगा, चाहे वो आपके ऑप्शनल में आए, चाहे वो जीएस में आए, लेकिन ऐसा आपको फेस करना पड़ेगा इसी बार जब आप मेंस लिखेंगे. तो करना क्या है उस समय? पहले पानी पी लेना है अच्छे से. ठीक है. Have some ample of water to keep yourself cool. Even you have 10 minutes and you have to write, let's say 2 questions. So effectively you will be having, let's say 4 to 5 minutes for 1 question. So what you do in 4 to 5 minutes, you simply make flow chart. Don't write answers. Make a proper flow chart of a particular question which was about to be missed by you. So in 4 minutes you can draw a very fine flow chart, that is for sure. Now this flow chart will give a sense to the examiner that you were knowing about it, but perhaps due to paucity of time you could not explain in the words. So out of, let's say, 15 marks, they may not give you 7.5 or maybe 8, but at least they will give you 4 marks for sure. They will give you 4 marks for sure. That's what actually is the advantage. So in that particular manner only you would be able to complete both the answers satisfactorily. ठीक है, कम से कम एग्जामिनेशन हॉल से बाहर निकलेंगे तो ये दुख नहीं होगा कि यार जानता था छूट गया. क्योंकि ये दुख नहीं, ये ब्लेंडर है. ये जिंदगी भर आपको सताएगा कि शायद वो क्वेश्चन लिख देता तो आज मैं आईएएस होता, जहां वो बैठा हुआ वहां मैं बैठा होता. तो दिस इज समथिंग विल कीप ऑन पिंचिंग यू फॉर योर एंटायर लाइफ. ठीक है. सो दैट्स व्हाट एक्चुअली यू हैव टू कीप इन माइंड. दिस इज व्हाट एक्चुअली इज कॉल्ड एज स्ट्रीट स्मार्टनेस. You have to be also smart while handling the paper in the examination hall. Fine. So that's what actually you have to understand, that you have to write the entire paper, and writing paper in 4,000 words is not a simple task. Therefore, every day, those who have certain serious issue in writing part, मेरे अनुसार आपको मैं एक सलाह देता हूं कि एवरी डे आप जब भी सोने जाते हैं, वट एवर योर शेड्यूल इज देयर, सपोज यू गो टू स्लीप बाय 11 o'clock, मे बी बाय 12 o'clock, So keep last 1 hour only for writing part every day. It is advisable for those who have some serious issue in handling the pen and writing the anything on the paper, in fact. So I will advise that every day from today only you write at least one answer of whatever topic that you have studied the entire day. पूरे दिन में आपने ये पढ़ा कि रामविलास पासवान चले गए. All right. So what you have to do, you write in 1 hour what is the future of politics in Bihar now after Paswan has passed away. All right. So how the Dalit politics will be fought in Bihar now? Who will be now Dalit leader from Bihar now? So मेरा कहने का मतलब ये कि आज अगर मैंने यही पढ़ा पूरे दिन भर में, तो आज 1 घंटे रात को मैं लिखूंगा इसके ऊपर.
सर,
हाँ
सर मतलब शुरुआत कैसे करें ये समझ नहीं आता है, कोई क्वेश्चन.
अच्छा देखो, शुरुआत का सबसे बेहतरीन तरीका क्या है कि हमेशा रखना है कि व्हाट इज द कॉन्सेप्ट दैट शुड बी योर फर्स्ट स्टेटमेंट इन योर आंसर. व्हाट पहले रखना है, व्हाट. दूसरे में आएंगे व्हाई. पहले व्हाट इज द कॉन्सेप्ट, देन विल कम टू व्हाई दिस कॉन्सेप्ट इज बीइंग डिस्कस्ड हियर. ठीक है. तीसरा में आएंगे हाउ दिस कॉन्सेप्ट इज और अदर हैज इवॉल्व्ड. हाउ, व्हाट, व्हाई, हाउ, ये 3 याद रखना है फॉर्मूला. लास्ट फॉर्मूला है क्रिटिकल एनालिसिस सबका करना है आपको.
ये क्रिटिकल एनालिसिस क्या होता है?
उसके पॉजिटिव्स, उसके नेगेटिव्स. हर कॉन्सेप्ट के पॉजिटिव्स हैं, उसके लिमिटेशंस हैं.
यस.
तो उसके पॉजिटिव्स क्या हैं, मतलब उसके कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशंस क्या हैं, व्हाट आर द एडवांटेजेस ऑफ दैट, एंड देन what are the limitations of that. For example, I give you an example. You have to write something on Comptroller Auditor General of India, CAG. Fine. So you have to write what are the advantages of CAG, and you have to also write what are the limitations of CAG. That is critical analysis.
Yes.
And the last part, conclusion, that is the suggestion or solution to that.
Solution.
All right. तो ये रखना है फॉर्मूला. व्हाट, व्हाई, हाउ, क्रिटिकल एनालिसिस, सॉल्यूशन. बस ये 5 फॉर्मूला ऑफ राइटिंग आंसर्स यू हैव टू नो, यू हैव टू लर्न, you have to imbibe it.
Sir, just something flashed my head, or can I get a minute for that, sir?
Sure, go ahead.
This is for Chiku Singh. So are you seeing this?
Yes,
Sir, जो बोला exactly.
Very nice.
Yeah, no, this is sunflower. ठीक है. So इसमें से आपको याद रखना है सेंटर जो है ना, the middle part, that is the core. आप जैसे ही किसी टॉपिक पे आओगे, आप बोले ना कैसे करना है, आप सबसे पहले ये डायग्राम लास्ट पेज में लिख लो. ठीक है. तो बीच में कोर टॉपिक, जो कोर टॉपिक है ना, उसके किसके बारे में पूछा गया है, उस बारे में लिख लो आप. लाइक द डेथ ऑफ पासवान जी एंड दैट थिंग. सो एक एक पेटल्स पे आप लिखते जाओ, पॉलिटिकल कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस, उसका फ्यूचर ऑफ द बिहार पॉलिटिक्स, द कम्युनिटी इफेक्ट ऑन दैट, या फिर आपका जो जो पॉइंट्स आता है आपको हर एक पेटल पे आप लिख लो. ओके. तो उस फ्लावर का हर एक पेटल में आपको उसका डिटेल्स, व्हाई, व्हाट, हाउ, वो सब चीजें इस पे लिख लो. और यहाँ जो लीव्स होते हैं ना, एक आप प्री कंक्लूजन, जैसे कि आपका वर्ड का लिमिटेशन होता है, आप हर एक चीज ऐसे में नहीं लिख सकते. कुछ चीजें आपको एक पैराग्राफ में समराइज करना पड़ता है. सो एडेड टू दैट these आर थिंग्स आर देयर, बट इट इज अंडरस्टूड दैट आप पूरा का पूरा एक्सप्लेन नहीं कर रहे हो, बट यू ऑल्सो नो दीज पॉइंट्स विच यू वांट टू मेंशन. वो प्री कंक्लूजन में होता है. लास्ट दूसरा लीफ में यू कंक्लूड एंड गिव योर रिकमेंडेशन, क्या हो सकता है. So follow this model for anything and it will be a good start. आप पहले ये मॉडल बनाओगे ना, आप भटकोगे नहीं. Usually when you start with an essay, you will start with something और mind दौड़ते कहीं और जाके रुकेगा. You cannot come back to the starting point.
Correct.
तो ये एक आप कॉम्पैक्ट नॉलेज बना के रखोगे, ये मॉडल रहेगा, और उसके ऊपर आप ऐसे लिखना शुरू करोगे ना, you will be in a perfect path perfect starting, perfect middle, and perfect ending.
Very
That
nice.
is what I wanted to
Very
say.
nice. Very nice illustration. Yes. So exactly that's what actually you have to do. ठीक है? तो वो अब क्या है ना कि ये basic idea you have to understand, and then you have to apply it. In fact, now, ठीक है? You have to apply it now. And when you write the first essay test on the day of the discussion, that is on 13th of October, I'll explain you some very nice techniques how to generate an answer. जहाँ पे कुछ नहीं भी पता है कैसे आंसर जनरेट कर लेना है, ठीक है? So I'll tell you with the some of the tips that I have generated over a period of time. So the tips will help you a lot in terms of also writing not only the essay but also the GS answers. ठीक है? So you will learn it. Don't worry about it. I mean that's what actually we are here and we are known for. In fact, in this market. Okay. So don't worry about it. So this is what actually is the point. Fine. So ये थोड़ा सा important चीज है जो समझना है कि writing answers how far it is going to be helpful. It is going to be helpful for at least for those candidates who are writing the mains this year for sure. Now for others, exactly that is also very important point I am going to mention here. For others also, writing mains at this moment, even though they are not going to qualify or rather they have not written the prelims this year, how it is going to help them? Let me tell you one thing, that if you are really serious for qualifying this examination next year, that is maybe 2021 prelims examination, this is the time when you will let down your foundation. And if you are unable to let down your foundation at this moment, then again in 2021 you are going to flunk in your examination. So idea is, if you are really serious on your goal that by 2022 I should find myself in Labasna, Mussoorie, then I have to use this time very constructively. And I can tell you from one small example. One of my very good students, student C is Arpit Sagar, a Gujarat cadre IAS, qualified in 2015 examination. All right. Now, Arpit Sagar, she was an engineer. She was also an MBA from IIM Calcutta. All right. She had a problem in qualifying this examination. She could not qualify prelims initially. Fine. And let me tell you, when she could not qualify prelims in the year 2014, she came to me and asked me that whether she should leave this particular profession or this particular business of examination, preparation for examination, should go and join the job, because she was in Coal India Limited. She was working in Nagpur in Coal India Limited. Now see, I told her only one thing, that even if she wants to go back to Nagpur to join the work, she can go, but keep writing the answers of our test series, because anyhow next year she has to write the examination and should not leave the preparation in between. Continue it whatever time you get, even in Nagpur. Now look at my point. She understood it very clearly and she followed those instructions uninterruptedly. In 2015 prelims she qualified and finally she cracked. She became an IAS officer. Today she is serving in Valsad in Gujarat as a DC. So that is a story of a person who used this time very efficiently and effectively, just having a vision in her mind that she has to crack this examination next year for sure. So therefore you have to understand, if this is the only goal in your life, that I have to crack, I have to qualify, then you should not miss out this time in doing some unnecessary or irrelevant thing in your life. All right, because every year will count, or it counts in fact. So therefore you have to use this time very efficiently and effectively. So what you do next 3 months, irrespective of your performance in prelims, irrespective of the fact whether you have appeared in this year's prelims or not, you all must write the test papers, so that you should be engaged constructively. Otherwise you will be completely deviated. You will do something here, something there. You will write this exam there, that exam there, and another 6 months you will pass it like this way only. And again, by by next year in the month of March or February, you will be filling the forms of UPSC. All right, for writing the prelims again in the month of June. So that is a serious problem. So you should not commit the same mistake. All right. So this is what you guys have to do. So Deepank wants to ask some question. I think so. Deepank, you can unmute yourself. You can raise your question.
Sir, Deepak is saying how to ensure 2 to 3 revisions of the entire GS syllabus when the last test is scheduled for 24th December. Will it be too little late given that only 2 weeks could be left for the mains?
Right. So that is the point. I mean, the idea is in 90 days, you will have to devise your plan in such a manner that wherever you have some serious issues, suppose someone has a poor understanding or has no reading as far as ethics is concerned. So then I'll suggest them that they will have to find out a time in between also to read something on ethics. Should not wait for the last moment to prepare ethics. All right, because normally it happens with majority of the candidates. So what you do, you prepare the syllabus the way it is given. And at the same time, you keep maybe a couple of hours to prepare that area which you have not done in the past. That is one way to cover the syllabus. Second way, revision. Now see, revision is the key of success always. So how to make revision always compulsory in your study plan? Keep Sundays of every week, of every weekend in fact, to only revise the things that you have done in the past. And for revision, what you have to do, let me tell you, revision cannot be done for the entire book. Let me tell you one thing more again. I mean, if you want to revise entire spectrum, it is not possible every time. All right. What you have to do in revision, first of all, you have to make a chronological development or synopsis of that. While reading something, always keep in mind that how I can use this information within couple of hours to revise and to also write down there in the answer. So for that matter, what you have to do, you have to make a synopsis of every study material. Synopsis is mandatory, let me tell you. Should not miss out this exercise when you study something. Otherwise, you are not a robo, you are not a computer. You will not be able to recall all those things in the examination hall on that day. So make it a compulsory exercise. Suppose if I have charted out, let's say one exercise that I have to study for 8 hours per day. Now, if that is my plan for 8 hours per day, what I will do, I will first of all ensure that in 8 hours, I will keep maybe 1.5 hours, maybe 2 hours, only for making synopsis. So whatever I have studied in 6 hours, I will make synopsis for another 2 hours, and then I'll go to sleep. Then I'll rest my study table altogether. That should be a compulsory exercise. Make a synopsis, and this synopsis should be in list number of pages. In the list words, you have to make a synopsis. Synopsis does not mean that you have to write the entire sentence. You have to write the keywords of every issue, so that the moment you remember the keywords, you start remembering the entire episode clearly. So that is the meaning of making a synopsis. All right.
Sir, just the Mr. Dipansh has come up with this question. So I just had something which was laying nearby, and exactly like, following Amit sir's instruction which he had given. So like, can you see here? This is like, this is the entire history. So it is in 9 pages.
That's
so
great.
You have the list, and for every list you have some information written. So this is after 9 to 10 readings of history, this is how your book should look like. This is how exactly my book looks like.
Actually,
which we had prepared long time ago. So you have information about everything. You have the chronological list, just like as sir said, and this is the entire information which fills out that particular chronology. So sir is asking you to make synopsis. So this is like, this is my style. I'm not telling you to copy my style, but take sir's guidance. Even I have taken when I was his student. And this is what I had, luckily it was, reachable to me. I just pulled out and.
No, that is actually was my point. In fact, I mean, I can tell you, still I am having my synopsis of my era, my time. In fact, I wrote my last mains in 2009. All right. So idea is, if still I am having the synopsis of 2009, I made it of my optional papers, because during March time there was 2 optional papers. So it was impossible to remember all those optional content very clearly. So I had to make synopsis. So my entire synopsis of course, one of my papers was psychology. It was completely done in not more than 20 to 25 pages, in fact. So entire psychology was in 20-25 pages completely. And I had to remember or recall those 25 pages only while going for the examination. So that's where actually you have to also do this exercise, because we all are human beings. It is impossible for us to recall and remember everything. Therefore, it is important to make synopsis when we study something. Otherwise, I mean, of course, if you don't make synopsis, if you do not organize them in the proper list of informations, then these information are going to be completely lost by you. Maybe someday you will be able to recall, अरे यार ये तो मैंने बनाया था, अरे यार ये तो पढ़ा था, तो वो आउटराइटली कभी आ जाएगा दिमाग में, लेकिन जहां आना चाहिए, जब आना चाहिए दिमाग में, वहां नहीं आएगा. And that would be highly, I would say, remorseful for you. You will be highly remorseful कि यार काश मैं पढ़ लेता, काश मैं रिवाइज कर लेता. So should not give that sort of chance to yourself. ठीक है?
Yes, sir. Sir, Ye Shekhar is asking, sir, how to pinpoint the exact sources within the paucity of time?
See, exact sources, idea is that, as I just told you, the best ways to prepare the exact source is going to be your own class notes.
That is the best source for the entire preparation.
I mean, I believe that all of you have done your classes of GS from somewhere. All right. Even if someone has not done it, let me tell you, someone has not done it. Then for them also, I recommend that collect the class notes of, let's say, XYZ coaching institutes. And every coaching institute has some good teachers and they're good class notes. So you collect those class notes, make the class notes only your final notes. Read the class notes, because class notes will give you in the shortest period of time the content of entire syllabus. Fine. So read the class notes, prepare the entire syllabus in the shortest period of time. And then afterwards, wherever there is a gap in the class notes, and how would I find the gaps? Once I will go through the entire class notes, I will go through class notes on the basis of the syllabus given there in the syllabus of UPSC. So I'll find out that, okay, syllabus में ये लिखा हुआ है, but ये class note में बताया नहीं हुआ है कहीं पे भी. So what I'll do, I will mark those particular point. Okay, ये I have to prepare now. Fine. Then I'll also say the last 3 or 4 years of question paper. And I'll say that in last 3 to 4 years question paper, what all questions have been asked, and if I will go through only these particular notes, would I be able to answer all those questions? If I get an answer in positive manner, and I'll find, okay, my class note is supreme. I don't have to rush for any other material. If I say, no, there are certain gaps, certain loopholes in my class notes, then I would require some extra time to prepare those gaps. So I'll prepare those gaps from the internet, from XYZ book. And what I'll do, I will add it with the class notes only. And that will be my final notes. कि अब इस क्लास नोट्स के साथ जो मैंने ऐड किया है, ये पूरा सिलेबस कवर कर देता है. अब बस उसी नोट्स को मैं 2-3 बार जितना बार पढ़ सकता हूँ पढ़ के चला जाऊंगा एग्जाम देने. उस नोट्स को भी मैं सिनॉप्सिस बना लूंगा. वो अगर वो नोट्स भी मान लीजिए 200 पेज का है या 150 पेज का है, तो उसको मैं पढ़ के सिनॉप्सिस में कन्वर्ट करके 20 पेज में कन्वर्ट कर दूंगा. And that 20 pages will be my final revision pages. That's it. एग्जामिनेशन हॉल के बाहर भी मैं वही पढ़ूंगा रिवीजन के लिए.
That will be the Bible. उससे अच्छा कोई दुनिया में आपके लिए बुक नहीं होगा.
बुक ही नहीं हो सकता है. तो ये आपको उस समय काम कर देगा, और यही काम करता है एग्जामिनेशन हॉल के पहले भी और गैप में भी, जो आपको 2 पेपर के बीच में गैप मिलता है उसमें भी. ठीक है.
Sir, one more question from Deepank. Can you elaborate upon the mentorship aspect and the one-to-one interaction with you all?
See, we will always be open for one-to-one interaction. Idea is that there will be a discussion sessions through which we will be having the same one-to-one interaction the way it is happening right now. Fine, that's one thing. Secondly, as far as mentorship program is there, of course we will be mentoring all of you individually also, because we don't have a huge rush of 200-300 students on our platform. It is going to be a limited number of people only, so not more than, I would say, 50-60 students would be there. So with this 50-60 students, we can easily manage all of you individually properly. It will be only a problem if at all there would be more than 200-300 students on our platform, because then it is not going to be possible for any one individual to manage those 200-300 students together. Fine. So therefore, it is always advisable to join such kind of small batches for test series where you have the personal mentorship and also personal guidance available 24/7 hours. So our numbers are there. I am always available. So you are also always free to give me a call, message me. You can ask me questions. You can also ask me to reply your answers. Or in fact, if you have no material or rather you have dearth of material on any topic, you can also give us a message. You can also send us a message. You can also call me that you need some assistance on XYZ material or XYZ, let's say, content. So whatever material that I will be having and other teachers would be having, they will all would love to give you. I mean, this is nothing we have to, I mean, save those materials for any future dividend. All right, this is the dividend that you will be getting, I mean, giving to all of us in terms of qualifying examination this year itself. So ideally, we will be supporting you through all the aspects, in fact. So wherever the material is required to be given to you, we'll also give it to you. The way I've just promised to all of you that I will be giving you also the terms and terminologies from the last 3 years of economic survey very soon. All right. So that would be also there with all of you. Similarly, some other support will also be given to you. For example, the important issues being covered from Frontline magazine. I won't recommend you to read Frontline, but I do read Frontline. I still read Frontline. All right. So of course, I will also give you some important issues from Frontline, some important issues also from Yojana. So I do read even Yojana. Fine. So Yojana and Frontline are two magazines that I keep referring every month. Fine. So obviously with that, you can also get the assistance regarding all those content. This is how we are going to give you the mentorship. And I just told you, in fact, through the test series program, that we are deliberately keeping 8 more tests as a self-practice test. And that self-practice test is basically mentorship program only, because here we will provide you a proper mentorship in the areas or on those areas where you have certain problem in terms of either understanding those content or even lack of content. So in both the ways, we are going to help you out for sure. That's the point. Okay. And discussion will be definitely very enlightening and very elaborate. So discussion itself will be so elaborate and so enlightening that the topics that will be, I mean, of course, setting as a question, entire topic would be clear in that discussion itself. तो मैं आपको बताऊं कि डिस्कशन सुन के भी बहुत सारे लोगों ने इस एग्जाम को क्वालिफाई किया है. And I have 2 of my students who actually gave me this particular story, that how those areas which they could not prepare, they only came for listening the discussion. So they listened to the entire discussion on setting for 4 to 5 hours, and through that only those areas they prepared, and they went for the examination. One of my students in IRS is Priyank Jain. So he told me about social issues, that he could not prepare anything on social issues. Whatever I discussed in the class, he listened those things very carefully, and through that he made some notes. All right, and he went to write the examination. And he qualified. He became an IRS, and then said, "I would not write any more this examination. I'm satisfied now. I'm becoming IRS." So that's what actually is the point. So idea is the discussion is going to be highly fruitful for all of you. All right. So this is the entire plan. Now, if you have any specific question, you can raise, and otherwise we can close down this particular session. All right. Then on 12th of October, of course, Nikhil will share with all of you how the test will be conducted. Nikhil, please continue.
Hello, good evening to all. I just want to add 2 or 3 points. Now, mainly how we are conducting this program, I will come to on that point. Especially means I am sharing some experience. Those who have means problem in Hindi, at least एक routine बना लीजिए कि you have to write at least 2 or 3 pages of Hindi from a newspaper. Means after seeing a newspaper, means एक पढ़ लिया फिर उसको लिख लिया. At least in a week once you have to write Hindi 2 or 3 pages, so that आपका वो hand जो है वो हिंदी में रन करना simultaneously start हो जाए. और means जो मात्राओं की गलती होती ऊ की आ की, तो means उस पे आप at least थोड़ा बच पाए. अच्छा, one more thing I want to say, you have a syllabus with you. in that syllabus, whatever the topic is given to you, at least you must know 2 pages of the topic. Means कोई भी topic है, जितने भी आपके टॉपिक्स दिए हुए हैं, चाहे हिस्ट्री के हैं, ज्योग्राफी के हैं, एथिक्स के हैं, साइंस एंड टेक के हैं, जो भी आपके टॉपिक्स दिए हुए हैं, एटलीस्ट हर एक टॉपिक पे आपको 2 पेज पता होने चाहिए कि एटलीस्ट समथिंग इज नॉट इन योर माइंड, एटलीस्ट आप वो रिलेट करके कम से कम लिख पाएंगे. कमिंग ऑन टू मेजर थिंग, ऑल्दो बाकी अमित सर ने सब चीजें थॉरोली इतनी कवर्ड कर दी, चाहे ज्योग्राफी हो, चाहे एनवायरमेंट हो, चाहे इकोनॉमिक्स, हिस्ट्री हो, तो वी नीड नॉट टू ऐड एनीथिंग. अच्छा, coming on to this program, when we talk about this program, what we will going to do, as we know that we cannot conduct our examination in our classroom program, so we are conducting this program totally online. What we will going to provide you, we will going to provide you a link.
Right.
We're going to provide you a link. In that link, you have to write down your name, mobile number, which is compulsory, as well as there will be an upload button. Upload button for you.
Right.
Means we will in that link you will have to write your name, phone number, as well as question will be written over there. Question will be available in that link also. You have to write down your answer on your sheets. You have to write down your answer on your sheet, and what you have to do after writing your examination for 2 hours.
So I just wanted to want to clarify one thing. They will have to download the question paper.
Sir,
isn't it?
No required.
Okay, then how would they write? How would they write on the?
No. 2 things are there.
Okay.
We can provide them the question paper. If they have a printer at their place, they can take a printout. Otherwise, it is a hassle for them. So what they can do, means we are providing the question on our link part.
Okay.
As we had provided the question on their link part, they have the sheets with them. So what they can do, they can write down question number 1 or 3, whatever they are writing. Sub questions answer they had written. Once they are done with the question answer part, what they have to do, you have to make the one PDF and you have to upload the PDF on the same link. आपको जो मिलेगा, जैसे आप लोग Gmail पे मेल करते हैं, there is a option means attach file. तो same option will be there, means attach file. As you are attaching the file, जैसी file upload हो जाएगी, there is a button, submit button. सबमिट करेंगे, शीट हमारे पास पहुंच जाएगी. So in the same,
sir, is it in the PDF or JPG जो कैम स्कैनर में होता है, वो भी चलेगा सर?
We have all these options, but making PDF is better for us also.
Better, okay.
Because कहते हैं the sheets will be 40, 50 जितनी sheets they are using, so PDF will be also easy for us, so that we can also evaluate and we can send back to them also.
Right. Good. That's a good point.
So this is our
any doubt with anyone, so you can raise your doubts here itself, because that's what actually is the platform all about.
No, sir. Initially, I've got a good idea how to start the essay test series.
Okay.
How to start the test series, and afterwards, as I'll be getting any doubts, I'll be connecting to the class.
Okay, fine. Anyone else who has any doubt, or anyone who wants to raise any question? I hope this idea is clear to all of you, that how the tests are going to be conducted. As Nikhil sir has explained it nicely, that we'll be sending you a link, and the link will be sent to you on your personal either WhatsApp number or maybe on your email, and through that you can write down the answers, in fact. All right, and then you have to upload it also in the PDF format. And while doing it, of course, we will be assisting you, of course, if it is actually a problem for any one of you.
So it is very simple and clear. As we had conducted our PT test series, in the same way they have to do, but just they have to upload. Means they have to write on their sheets, and they will going to upload these sheets to us. So
that's what actually they will write the paper and they have to scan it also, no?
Yes.
They will scan it and they will have to convert it into PDF.
Sir, if you could little elaborate, like, how, like, post writing the paper till, like, send it to us, like, what are the steps, like scanning, and is there a software where it can be converted from photo to PDF?
So step by step, can you explain it once more?
No. I'm telling you, what we will going to do. We will going to make one flow chart, and we will send you. It will be easy for you.
That will be easy for them, sir. That will be easy.
That is going to assist them a lot, in fact. So that is good. That is good. So anything else? Anyone wants to say something?
Okay,
Hello, sir.
speaker is saying now I am very clear that where to join the test series. Thank you, sir, for this initiative.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
Pankaj, yes.
Yes, sir. Actually, sir, I have to appear in the next year, and
Okay.
currently I have not studied the governance, quality, science, and tech. Then how can I join this test series? Is it beneficial for me?
So see, I mean, next year you will be writing the exam.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So,
Sir, shall I, try to address his concern?
sure. Go ahead.
Pankaj, have you
Yes.
seen the question paper of 2020 prelims?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I saw
So
that.
have you seen polity questions? Just if you have glanced through. So earlier, the mode of preparation for prelims were entirely different from preparation for mains. Here it would be descriptive, there it would be subjective. You have to know the facts and other things. But if you analyze this 2020 prelims paper, it is entirely, analytical type. So even though if you know where the, say for example, DPSP, what it says, if you know fundamental duties, unless you apply your brain, unless you analyze the entire thing, you will not be able to come to the point of the answer. You will not be able to choose the right answer. So your entire paper, if you just go back or if you listen to any of the analysis of GS paper 1, it was more of application type. You have the knowledge, you have the facts, you have read the book, but unless you dissect it, unless you know it in an analytical manner, you cannot choose the right answer. So
Right.
the UPSC is moving more and more towards the application part of your knowledge, even in your prelims. So this means if you write the test series at this stage, before you have appeared for your prelims, and if you get your answers analyzed, indirectly you will be preparing for your mains, and more often it is going to help you in your prelims a lot. You will be
Yes, sir.
one stage in a upper
Sir,
hand
sir,
than
it's fine. Yes, fine,
the
sir.
people preparing
What
only
I'm
for prelims.
So what I'm saying is some subject I have not gone through in my coaching.
Right.
Like in my coaching, only history, which is taught by the Amit Sinha sir, and
Right.
geography and few other subjects have completed. But
Correct.
science, tech, political governance have not completed.
Right.
In Bajirao Reddy sir, you have taught, na?
Yes.
Amit Sinha sir.
Yes.
Yes.
So see,
That,
Pankaj, what you have to do, I mean, there are two things. One is that you can go with the pace of the coaching institute, the way they have been delivering the content. That is a one way. There's a very simple way, in fact. The other way, where you will have to take some extra effort and extra pain, that would be that let the coaching go at their pace, but you go on your pace. Because see, coaching, चाहे किसी का हो, चाहे मेरा हो, चाहे किसी का भी हो, coaching is basically open for some business purposes. This is your career. All right, this is your career. So at times you have to take certain calls. That is even beyond the coaching and coaching world, in fact. All right.
yes.
So the idea is what you have to do. Suppose in coaching, whatever pace they are following, let them follow it, because you cannot dictate them the terms. कि नहीं सब अभी खत्म करवा दो.
Yes,
So they will go with their own pace. Now you have to realize that since you have to write this examination next year and you have to also qualify this examination next year, so what you have to do, you have to make out a chart, your own plan, that I have to also begin my study plan, and in my study plan, what all essential things I have to add on. So
Yes.
idea is to add on would be, of course, reading some basic textbooks, some basic books which are supposed to be read by everyone who is going to write this examination. So I will go through those basic textbooks primarily, and on the basis of those basic textbooks, I would try to test myself in writing some of the answers also. All right, because
Okay.
see, idea is, if I give you a task that suppose in next 10 days you read something on NCERT of Indian economy. So next 10 days, I give you a task to read NCERT or Indian economy. Now, suppose if there is no one to monitor you, what you will do, you will start reading NCERT for sure, since you follow me or follow XYZ teacher. But what you will do, you will not read NCERT in 10 days, rather you will go for 20 days.
Yes, sir, always.
All right. So that is the problem, in fact. There has to be someone who can keep monitoring your performance, who can keep pushing you to do this exercise in a time-bound manner.
Okay, sir.
Fine.
Sir,
And
actually,
bolo, bolo.
sir, actually, I want to say that if I join the test series and if I apply my common sense to answer that question, then that's a good thing. But if some question, if I don't know, if I have not been through that topic, and
Right.
it made me nervous to not attend the further test series, so that would be other.
That exactly you have to learn, that you don't have to get nervous. All right. You have to learn to maintain your nerve under your control. All right. So yes, I'll give you the chance. What you do, that since you have stated that you will not be knowing certain questions, you will apply your common sense. Let me tell you one thing. That if you prepare your current affairs thoroughly, which
Yes,
anyone can do. I mean, I can give you one example. Suppose you have to write an examination of CAPF, or let's say SSC, or even the banking. What you do, you try to read the current affairs, isn't it? So
yes,
you
sir.
have to only read the current affairs primarily, and on the basis of current affairs, you attempt the answers. I am pretty sure your answers would be better than many of the candidates who may be writing the exam this year in 2020. Only on the basis of current affairs you can develop an understanding to write an answer of almost every question. And it is a good platform to also test your common sense, because even the common sense is there or not will be tested.
Yes, sir.
So that is the
Fine.
benefit. Chiran wanted to say something. Chiran, go ahead.
Yeah, Pankaj, there are two things. जो आप देखे होंगे टेस्ट सीरीज में जो क्वेश्चन आप गलत करते हो ना, that we will remember lot. आपको चुपता रहेगा कि इसको मैंने गलत कर दिया, and you feel that thinking you don't know this. वो आपको ज्यादा याद रहेगा than the questions which you make it right. So यहाँ पे जो क्वेश्चन आप लिख रहे हो उसमें कम मार्क्स आ रहे हैं, या आप नहीं लिख पा रहे हो, या बहुत कम लिख पा रहे हो, so it is not just we correct and give the marks. हम लोग उसको फीडबैक भी देंगे कि उसमें क्या कमी है, what are the things we could have included. उससे आपका इनडायरेक्ट रिवर्स लर्निंग हो जाएगा. आप एक्चुअली पढ़े नहीं हो, बट हमारा सजेशन और हमारा जो कमेंट्स है उससे आप एक्चुअली इनडायरेक्टली प्रिपेयर हो रहे हो.
And the discussion is going to add more icing on the cake. Discussion is going to be just like a classroom. In the discussion only, entire social issues will be discussed with you. Because understand, 20 topics, I have to frame a question for you in social issues.
And
20 topics are not so small. You understand? Entire syllabus will be covered.
Yes,
and those 20 questions I am supposed to also discuss with you. तो उस डिस्कशन में पूरा सोशल इश्यूज आपका कवर हो जाएगा उसी दिन. आपको कोई कोचिंग का पैसा देने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी.
I got it.
और पंकज, you know, अर्जुन महाभारत से why did he become the world's best archer? पता है?
Yes, sir.
वो सुबह द्रोणाचार्य के क्लासेस भी अटेंड करता था, और रात को सबको सोने के बाद ना he used to wake up and practice in the dark. That's why he became the world's best archer. तो कोचिंग चलने दो, you just put your extra efforts.
Sir, actually, I want to ask one more thing, sir. So for the current affair module, I am going through the newspaper and some PIB part and Yojana part. So that's enough. That is it enough for the preparation, sir?
Amit sir.
That is sufficient. If you're going through any magazine or maybe newspaper of current affairs, all right, that itself is sufficient. And most importantly, you're also adding the PIB. That is just like adding more values to information, in fact. So I think one magazine of current affairs and PIB are more than sufficient.
Okay, sir. Sir, and it's a very big hustle, sir. Like we have to go through the recital, Yojana, Kurukshetra, PIB, newspaper. It's a hustle, sir.
No. Complete avoid it. Keep your mind cool and calm. Concentrate only on one current affairs magazine. If you are taking newspaper, that is good enough. Take a newspaper take one monthly magazine, download it or maybe purchase it from the market, read it out completely, thoroughly, and add it with the PIB information. That is more than sufficient. You will crack this examination on the basis of this only exercise, in fact.
Sir, actually, I want to ask one more thing. I have started this module of current affairs from the month of September, 20th of September.
Okay.
So is it late or is it on the time or is it? I'm not.
No, it is completely fine. I mean, it's not about which month you have started. In fact, since see, I mean, you have to write examination 2021. All right. So anyhow, September month is good enough. Now the point is that since you have started September onwards, it is also easy for you to cover the syllabus of, let's say, even from 2019 onwards. So what you do from 2019, right from the month of May, June, you cover the syllabus. It is simple exercise. Maybe 4-5 days will require to cover syllabus of last, let's say, 7-8 months of current affairs more. All right. So do it in one.
So from where do I get the last year current affaiir from 2018, 2019?
It is available on website. You can see Vision website. Vision फिर में बांट रहा है. ठीक है.
आपको करंट अफेयर्स 2014 से मिल जाएगा. You'll get 6 years current affairs.
तो उसका समय का है sir. I have studied the history part, polity part, revision of all these, the writing, answer practice. Then where do I get time to go through the last 5-year current affairs?
You don't have to go to last 5 years current affairs. It is only about last 5 months current affairs. All right. So what you have to do, I mean, since September, you have already been covering it, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
So what you do from 2019, that is from May 2019, you cover this current affairs. That's it.
Okay, sir.
Because it will benefit you in 2021 for sure.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, sir.
Yes. Fine.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay, welcome.
Sir, question from Anmol Jain. Thank you so much to all the faculty, especially Amit sir, for such an elaborate discussion on all the GS papers. I'm able to clear all my doubts except for one, that till now I did not refer Yojana and Kurukshetra. I only referred to coaching magazines and newspapers for even mains. So what should I do?
See, I mean, if you have not referred Yojana and Kurukshetra, it hardly matters. I mean, see, Yojana and Kurukshetra content are referred in the context of the syllabus of the GS or syllabus of your optional. So suppose you have optional like sociology or maybe optional like, let's say, geography. Now in that context, you can use the content of Yojana and Kurukshetra. Fine. On the other hand, the point is that even if you have missed out Yojana and Kurukshetra, you should not bother about that. What should bother about that? You should actually have a fair idea about the last couple of years of current affairs. That is more than sufficient to handle the questions of UPSC as well. Fine. That's one thing. Secondly, Yojana and Kurukshetra, at least Yojana, I will ensure you that I'll give you the exact topics from Yojana, which I would recommend you to read it about. Fine. So I'll also send you the scanned copy of that. If at all, that would be important. If at all, that would be specific. If at all, that would be exclusive. All right. Otherwise, if it is common thing, let's say food processing industry pe hai Yojana, which is also available in your notes. Why will I ask you to refer the food processing industry from Yojana? So I'll not refer that. But suppose something is given there which you may not have any idea about it, but say it's specifically given there in Yojana, then definitely I will refer to you that you must read about this particular article from Yojana. And of course, I'll also give you the scanned article altogether. So through that, your exercise will be done. I mean, your task will be simplified. That's what is the idea. You concentrate only on your class notes, your content that has been given to you by the coaching, and most importantly, your current affairs. And as far as current affairs is concerned, whatever notes that you have been given by, let's say, XYZ coaching, that would be sufficient enough. But you see the merit of your current affairs content on the basis of the questions that have been asked either in prelims or even in last year's mains. All right. So you must be having your seniors, your friends who must be having fair idea about your coaching content, whether those coaching material are still relevant as far as UPSC exam is concerned. If they give you some negative feedback on that, then should leave that. There should not be any emotional attachment with that. Should leave that. Cover these current affairs from the largest read about material or the largest people of this country who are reading this material. Let's say Vision material is read by almost everyone I know. All right. Even teachers, they refer Vision material. So idea is you can also refer the Vision current affair. That's more than sufficient. Only one current affairs material. That is more than sufficient to give you a fair idea about what is happening in and around your country, in and around the world. All right, that's what you have to do. ठीक है, इतना ही करना है, इसके beyond ज़्यादा नहीं करना, क्योंकि अभी ज़्यादा फैलाने से, if you expand it beyond your control, you will collapse. So keep it very straight, specific, and simply in a simplified manner. That this much of task I am supposed to do, but I'll do it with 100% honesty. Anything and everything that is asked from these all sources, I am damn on it. I am damn on that particular issue with clear thought and clear expression. Fine. That's what actually will make you qualify this examination this year itself. Fine.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. I'll definitely work upon what you have said, and your guidelines are absolutely very important. All of the faculty. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Just like, for example, if I could talk about science and technology.
Yes.
So the institutions like DRDO and ISRO, those should be the headlights. Whatever the programs done by DRDO and ISRO, if you just prepare that, that will cover around 70-80% of the entire current affairs of science and technology.
Yes, sir is absolutely right. So Chiran sir is absolutely right on that. He's bang on that, in fact. So even if he give you, let's say, 5, 10, 20 topics out of that, that will definitely also come in your examination.
Sir, every year we can see they're either targeting DRDO or ISRO. They're just like.
Agreed.
If you do not have time, that is a must-do things. Everybody does it.
That I agree. Of course, I agree on this. Okay. So I hope that your all queries have been addressed. All right. And if you have any more queries, of course, I have already sent you the PDF file of this test plan. Number is already given there. As I just told you that by Sunday night or maybe on Monday onwards, the website will also be operational. All right. So on the website also the things will be uploaded. Even the materials will also be uploaded. Some PDF file of the books will also be uploaded. So whatever content is required for all of you to be read, those things will also be uploaded over there. So you can also download from our website, and through this interaction will continue, in fact. All right. And of course, on a regular basis, now we are going to interact. That on 13th of this month only, we are again going to interact on the issue of essay. So that discussion will be specific to the issue of essay, that how to approach an essay, how to write an essay, and how to manage your time in essay. Fine, essay papers. So we'll do that exercise also again on 13th of October. Fine. So with this,
this video will be posted on YouTube.
This video I think will be posted because it is being recorded now. So after getting recorded, I will be definitely posting it on YouTube also. Fine.
Sir, you need not to shut down your system.
Sorry. Yeah, you're right. Last time it happened when I took a discussion, took a discussion of economy. I missed it out. Okay, fine. So fine. I'll do it. Okay. Yeah.
And sir, finally, a message from Gurpreet Singh. Thank you so much, especially Amit sir, Naveen sir, Chiran sir, for valuable guidance.
Oh, thank you so much for all of you, in fact, for attending this particular session. I mean, your participation is really encouragement for all of us to work hard and work effectively and efficiently for all of you. All right. So we'll see you all in the test papers, in the test series, in fact, and we'll continue this interaction for another 3 months for sure. All right. So with this, now I'm signing it off and saying you all goodbye and good night. And start working from today itself. Fine. And whatever difficulties you face, feel free to talk to us, to interact with all of us. Fine. So we'll always will be available to assist you in every form, in fact. Okay. See you then. Then I'm signing it off then. Okay. Good night then. Good night to all of you, in fact.
Bye, sir. Bye, Amit sir.
Thank you, Chiran. Thank you, Nikhil. Thank you, Nikhil.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Nikhil. Thank you, Chiran.
Okay,
thank
sir.
you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.